Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And before you ask, yes, I am currently still suspended from not doing my continuing legal education, a problem I hope to remedy very soon. And I am not licensed to practice law in the state of Minnesota or any other. But I'm not giving you legal advice. If you're trying to get legal advice from me, you have to do it in a dark room, usually with a pole attached to it. With that said, we're here. We're back. It's a Sunday, so I don't normally do this, but I need to get back on track with this trial. And we are back with the trial of Nevada versus Devyn Michaels. Devyn Michaels is... Nick looks like he's ready to cast a spell at Hogwarts. I am. I'm casting all the spells at Hogwarts. How dare you? How dare you? Devyn Michaels is a former, now it's definitely former, but previously former adult film actress with such titles as Can't Be Said on TV. She is accused in this trial of murdering brutally and beheading her boyfriend, who at the time of the murder and beheading was and I guess still kind of is, the father of her husband. So that's right. She was with this man, her boyfriend, a long time ago. She had 2 children with him. They were never married. She broke up with him of sorts. I guess if you marry his son, you've probably broken up with him. Maybe. I don't know what they're into. Married his son. And then somewhere along the line he lost his head. He lost his head allegedly in the middle of a back massage from the state. I have my theories on what the state calling a back massage actually means. We don't technically know what happened, though. The state does not have a murder weapon. The state doesn't quite know. I don't know if the state even has the head itself, but the state has accused her of bludgeoning him with an object similar to a candlestick or a club of some sort, and then him dying, and then her proceeding to remove his head with some other instruments, maybe some series of knives, maybe an electric knife, maybe a hacksaw or a reciprocating saw that you might use to cut through drywall or, wall studs or whatever, whatever home improvement project you might have, maybe to make somebody a little bit shorter because he can't fit through a doorway. I don't know. The state and the defense have made their opening arguments, which we watched in a prior stream. I'll have a playlist of all of the Devyn Michaels streams on YouTube. I don't think I have one now, but now that there's 2 videos, I will put it together right after the show, and you can find easy watching. I may also put clips and commentary in there if I get around to it. This trial has already occurred. This is a review of the trial rather than a live watch, but I'm still going. Oh, I have this banner going that doesn't belong here. This is for a different thing. This is a review of the live trial, not a live watch, but I will be following the similar methods that I use in watching a trial, in that when people are talking, we're going to watch it at normal speed. We're going to watch their body language. We're going to hear how their voice actually sounds. I think this is important to kind of absorb the jury experience and the lawyers and judges experience as we go. Twitch is for video games. Tell that to Asmongold or whatever, who streamed significant portions of the Johnny Depp trial on Twitch. Look, I'm trying it out if people want to. YouTube's being a little wonky right now. So we're seeing if, if people find me where they are, then that makes me happy. And I've seen Twitch as an option to multi-stream too. They updated their partner agreement so we can do that. And so we're trying it out. But I'll be following the same rules that I have for normal trials. And I believe I've balanced all the audio out. Saying this alone is the most dangerous thing I can do. So I should be able to speak without without interrupting the trial itself, without interrupting the video, or you'll be able to hear me effectively is what it comes down to when I speak while the video is playing. I think I've eliminated the prioritization. Hopefully that's the case. If it's not the case, well, we'll go back to the drawing board on it. But I believe we've had some success in other at other times. So let's see, where are we? So we have, no, I need to be larger. Thank you. Sorry, I can't sit second tier to this bald man in Law and Crime. Gross. But so anyway, your basement goblin is fire. What are you talking about? What did I miss? Oh my goodness. And yes, to those, we're streaming live on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. Per the Twitch partner agreement, I am not allowed to encourage you to watch anywhere else, and I really don't. I don't care where you watch. If you like Twitch, stay on Twitch and watch there. I have all the chats pulled up, and we'll be interacting with them, as appropriate. The final thing before we get into starting this trial, which we'll do in just a minute. Is you are able to contribute your own spice to the show. If you're not familiar, if you've been gone a while, because I know I was gone a while. If you want to contribute your own bits to the show, you can go to supertip.gg/RL. And we'll get that pinned up in the chats here in just a moment. And that will allow you to effectively send a cross-platform tip. It'll display everywhere, and we have some AI voices that you can use in there to add your commentary or what have you. It all seamlessly integrates together, and you can have your commentary added to the stream for everybody to hear, no matter what platform they're on. Or you can opt for a text tip, which I'll pull up on stream, just kind of like normal, and read out loud. It works just like any other platform's tipping system works. It just, everybody will be able to see it. So you are free to do that as you want. It is the Sunday after Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you had a wonderful time and got to spend it with friends, family, or alone, as is your desire. It's up to you. What's up, Mithrin Star Strider? How you doing? How are you? The worst time ever? You mean like right now? Or what's the worst time app ever? Blue Waffle. What's that? I should Google it. Would Super Tips even be able to get a Lemoyne voice? Yes. Yes, I can work on that. There's some of the voices we have on there I'll probably remove because they're kind of niche and not for my regular channel. But we have a lot of flexibility in creating them. Welcome back, Mithrin. Happy to see you. So Nicola says that Jimmy will be on soon, which is, I don't remember. I haven't invited him on yet. I will. Happy to do so. But I hadn't spoken to him yet, but apparently he said he'll come on. I was trying to work my way onto his show like a weasel, of course. But, I'm happy to do all of it. Actually, have him on my show or go on his. He seems like a very, very funny guy. We're talking about Auntie Deb on YouTube. And as soon as we work out the details on that, I will, of course, let you know. I will be happy to do so. So, you try to avoid mentioning that guy's name since then. Was it Hassan? Was it Has Communist? Hassan Piker? The weirdo who gets away with everything? Yeah, who cares? Hassan sucks. I wish him well. Just wish he would leave everybody well alone. with that, feel free to come up with anything you want to say to the show. You know the basic rules here. We are going to resume exactly where we left off. The shirt needs 80 shoulder pads. Thanks. That's just how you say that I need shoulders. God, you're so mean, guys.
In my expert opinion, the victim has minor brain damage from blunt force trauma. These type of injury is consistent with being dropped while in a laundry basket.
It is important to distinguish true micropenis from false micropenis,
True.
where the penis appears small due to being hidden or buried rather than being structurally underdeveloped. Cottage cheese clams.
Okay, that's disgusting. Did you guys notice? I think I talked about this, but we got to briefly mention it again because it came up the other day in normal, decent company, in normal conversation. Someone's like, "Oh, did you know that Hitler and Jeffrey Epstein had micropenises?" It's like, well, I mean, maybe. And then there was like a plethora of articles about micropenises and why they happen or whatever, because that's how our world works. You know, the Hitler one's a little harder or softer, as it may be, but the Jeffrey Epstein one, it's like, isn't there a coroner's report on this? Like, is the size of his penis classified? I'm not sure. Maybe we could just ask Bill Clinton. I'm sure he knows. Hey Jeff, why don't you give those trials a drop? Could you imagine the conversations going on between like weeded out Bill Clinton not inhaling and Jeffrey Epstein, whoever else may be in the room? God, that got to be great. But that being said, it seems like there would be some sort of medical record, but the Jeffrey Epstein micropenis rumors are based on one of his victims who may not be the most reliable source in regards to like stuff like that. Now, I believe his victims in general. He seems to be thoroughly shown to be basically a complete scumbag. So, you know, that doesn't surprise or shock me in any way. But that being said, like on stuff like this that has nothing to do with his criminality, and it actually goes towards reducing some of his criminality in a weird way, because this victim suggested that his small egg-shaped, approximately 2-inch penis, which is medically a micropenis, would not be able to function. Like he would not be able to fit it into anybody. But that doesn't seem to be the case based on several other witnesses who have alleged sexual intercourse with him. So who knows? The Hitler one is a little bit different too. He was diagnosed through DNA sampling with something called Kallman syndrome, which may lead to micropenises. I just think everybody saw it and thought, this is funny. These guys are universally reviled. It's probably because they have small dicks. And I thought it was funny for a second. And then I was like, wait a minute. That's like the common attack, right, on men, is like when you disagree with something they say, it's like, oh, you must have a small penis. Like that's probably the reason why I disagree with you. And it's very frequent. So who knows what the truth is? Maybe if we get a time machine, it's like, would you murder Adolf Hitler? And everybody says yes, but he was still around, like he happened. So we know that nobody actually does go back in time in the future and murder Adolf Hitler. Until we forget who he is, that's impossible. So no one actually does that, but maybe someone goes back in time and measures that Bavarian honker or whatever. Or Little Smoky, as it may be. I have no idea. Who knows? Who knows? Who cares? We are in a time of weird things. There's no going around it. It's just strange dunks instead of, like, no one discredits anybody anymore. No one actually like goes through and thoroughly rakes an argument and destroys it. Everybody now is just like, it's a quick hit discredit, and that's enough. It'd be internet debate. Essentially, internet debate has taken over. What is actual debate, what is actual discourse, and what is discernment. Those things are, I feel like I'm answering a Jeopardy question here. Those things are gone. Now it's, how can we quickly ad hominem the person in the funniest way to get the most clicks and audience? And that is valid though. Like, stop Stop it. That's valid and funny and should be done more often. But, you know, sometimes, like, you want some places to have some astute discussion on a topic rather than just saying, little dick alert. God, it is funny every time. But getting back to what the super chat was talking about, Ryland Poole was referring to another condition which is comparable to micropenis syndrome, and that is, God, I have so many jokes. That is not being Michelle Obama. That is that overweight or obese people, you know, have obstructive adipose tissue that can give the appearance of a smaller appendage. And I believe the stat is something like for every 30 pounds a morbidly obese person loses, you know, they can effectively expose another 1/8 to 1/4 inch of penile tissue. Show us your ankle tattoo. I don't have an ankle tattoo. Oh my goodness. I'm not opposed to one. I just don't know. I don't know what I would put on my ankle. You look completely healthy, bro. Congrats. Hey, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been working on it quite a bit. Quite a bit. So with that, show boobs. Oh, God, I'm so bad at unbuttoning shirts. No. I have a tramp stamp, though. No, I don't have a tramp stamp either. I think there's an appropriate tramp stamp that men could get. Like you're an F slur right on the, because if you're seeing it, like you'd write, you're an F slur, or like if you're reading this, you're pretty gay, you know, something like that. I think that could be funny, cheeky, maybe. But no, I don't have one. I don't have one. I have a hip tattoo, and I have another hip tattoo planned. Whoever doesn't like it, it's a portrait of your mom. Just going to put a generic mom face on there. It's your mother. But no, no tramp stamps, no ankle tattoos. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
What up, my ninja? Stuck working in California, wondering why in heaven's sake an asteroid hasn't come and put this place out of its misery yet. We all know you have a cankle tattoo, though.
I do. It only shows up when I'm fat. Nick, did you read the bad news about tattoo ink destroying the immune system? Nope. La la la. Who wants to hear that? How boring. How boring. Let's see. What is going on here? What is going on Twitch? All right. So with that, guys, let's get back to this trial, though. So this is, again, the opening arguments have concluded, and if you want to go back and watch them, you can. I'll do a very short summary. The state laid out step by step how Devyn Michaels was with this guy all day, and then they're staying at his parents' house, I believe, and Devyn Michaels is confirmed to be there. The mom, his mom, sees her and stuff and interacts with her during this time. She says, "Don't go in there. He's asleep permanently." And then, the mom doesn't interfere because she probably fears what's in the bedroom. And I don't mean in a violent way, but probably in a sexual way. And then he is dead. His decapitated body is found in that same bedroom where Devyn Michaels was with him for the night. No one else is known to have been there or not. That's the main state argument. Again, the state doesn't have a murder weapon. They may not even have the head, or may not have recovered the head. I'm not sure. Everybody's looking for head, apparently. And what they do have is, the severed stump, and that's how they determined what was. Well, they have someone who's made some guesses as to what was used to actually separate the head from the body. If you are not aware, this is a complicated and not such a simple process. You either need a large, sharp, heavy enough object to generate sufficient force to effectively crush its way through any vertebral protrusions, or you need to have sufficient skill and a sufficiently sharp implement to work its way between vertebrae and sever the the connective tissue that's in there. on your way out. You can't just cut through the nice fleshy bits. There's a bony bit in the back, and the bony bit is jagged and misshapen. So you can't just cleanly swipe through. It has been done throughout all of history. There are swords and swordsmen who have done it. There are axes that have done it. The guillotine was heavy and did it. Although the guillotine would sometimes get stuck, on bones. I think Louis the 14th or 16th, I can't remember, was a fatter guy, and they put him in there and he didn't fit right and he was wiggling, and the guillotine got stuck on his jaw, for example. And the executioners had to come up, and they had 3 men push down to crunch through the rest of it. He was alive until that happened. Very grisly, very, very grisly. You don't want that to happen. What happened to him was not pleasant. But that's, that's how that's worked. But generally, the guillotine was pretty effective because it's a heavy, sharp implement working with, the same physics as an axe. But you got to crush through, or you can use a saw blade like butchers do, right? They have saws that a bandsaw will cut through bone. They have that as well. But that's not available in a bedroom typically. And this is not a medieval swords person. We have to be inclusive now. This was not a medieval swords person wielding any instrument. So we don't really have any risk or idea that this person is chopping heads off with a clean single stroke. She liked multiple strokes, and so did he up until the moment he was killed. Random Unbreaded Commenter says there's a reason executions were a practiced skill. Yes, other reasons that they were a practice skill, of course, involve, the executioners having to have a certain psychological issue to get over the fact that they were, ruthlessly killing people over and over. It doesn't really matter if someone's a murderer or not, or accused of various crime, or even convicted convincingly. At the end of the day, you have to stare at that person and remove parts of them. Hard for most people to do. Cup of Soothe says, what does everybody want? Head. Yes, in this case, that will probably be a main part of the defense. You don't even have the head. You can't even prove he's dead yet. What's up, Desert Rat AZ? Nice to see you over on Twitch. And I do plan to do some more Twitch streaming in general, but I'm thinking some trial streams might be good for the daytime stuff. But I do plan to relax on Twitch again at some point, just working my way back into all of this stuff. With that, let's go. Why am I rambling so long? We have about 20 minutes of this video left, and then there's a supplemental hour video of the rest of the exam and cross exam for the day after the lunch break. So we will be watching all of that and in this setting, and then we'll probably do day 2 at a separate setting. Davapo says Twitch is not happening for me not going to that platform. You don't have to go to any platform. I'm not saying you should go to any platform at all. Watch where you enjoy. That's that. Here we go.
I'm not going to send the personal story.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about taking this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Sir, please state your full name.
Hopefully you can hear.
Full name is Marquis Cooper, Marquue, last name Cooper, Cooper.
Marquis Que. It's Mark. It's Mark Cooper. It's French. Ah! Marquis would have UIS or UEE to Anglicanize it.
I am a patrol officer.
How long have you worked in that capacity?
For 8 years.
And what are some of the duties of a patrol officer? Could you inform the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that may not know?
For patrol officers.
Wait a minute. Do we have some echo going on? Okay, hold on. I can fix that. That's my fault. Give me just a second. I guessed it on a stream and had to change a setting, and I think I just forgot to fix that. Hopefully that fixes it. You guys can still hear me, right? I hope. If you can hear me, that's good. And then if we go ahead and jump into this, it should be...
Typically responding for calls for service. It could be something as simple as
hopefully
a
this
civil
works.
dispute or as a shooting. So just whatever calls for service that come through the computer.
And as a patrol officer, are there certain areas that you're assigned to?
Still echoing?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to lose my mind. Let's try this last thing. I think this might be it. Hold on.
So Henderson's
Tell me if this
separated
fixes
by
the echo and if you
North
can hear me.
Division West and East was assigned to the North Division. And in those, also in those North, they're separated by what they call beats or areas, which is, they're numbered on ours. It's 1 through 7 for the North.
And you said which
There
area
we go.
command were you responsible
Sorry about
for
that.
on around the time frame of August 7th, 2023?
That was the North Area Command.
What types of call for service would you go out to and respond to?
As far as on that day or just in general?
Just in general.
It could be a gamut of things. I mean, like I said, a simple complaint of neighbor dispute to a shooting to petty larceny. We had them all there. So a lot of petty larceny and things of that nature. So it could be anything you can respond to.
Could be anything.
Then turning your attention to August 7th of 2023.
So the court has a couple issues on the audio side. I'm not going to sit and address this the whole time. I believe this is the echo elimination setup. Everything should be good. The court itself is a little bit hollow sounding and just resonant. And then the other thing is the court is in stereo. His mic is my left ear channel, and the woman's mic is my right ear channel. So I'm not exactly sure. Like, that's how their setup is, and that stuff gets mixed into a different output for you guys. So you have sound anxiety. I do. You always want everything. Streamer pro tip: your sound is the most important part. Lagging behind says, are you going to cover any of the recent lawsuits like Ethan Klein suing Twitch streamers or Asmongold getting sued or whatever? Possibly, yes. I have to have time to do it, and I have to see them and all that stuff. And I'm just getting back into that. Random unbreaded commenter says, wasn't echoing until you mess with it. They trolling. Here we go. Back to this.
Were you working as a patrol officer at that time?
Yes.
And which area command was that again?
The North Area Command.
North Area Command. Were you then dispatched to a call at 2698 Paladura Drive on that date?
Yes.
Around what time did that call come out?
Don't know the exact time, but I roughly think it was around 8:50-ish.
Fair to say around 8:40 in the morning.
Yes.
And what was the nature of the call as you understood it at that time?
At that time, what I had was the CAD notes from the computer, and it just said that a mother found her son, and she saw blood, and I think the other detail was he didn't have a face. What the call note stated.
He doesn't have a face.
And then after getting that information, did you then respond to that Paladura address?
Yes.
Did you respond with anyone?
Yes, there was another officer dispatched with me, and I also responded with the Henderson Fire Department.
Do you recall which officer was with you?
Officer Flores, and then more eventually showed up after.
Okay, but initially it's you and Officer Flores that respond to this Paladura address.
Yes, ma'am.
When you responded to the address, were you in a marked patrol vehicle?
Yes.
Yes.
How is it that you responded to the scene? And specifically what I'm wondering is, did you roll code?
Initially I started code, but I was close by, and then I shut down just because I was close by, and it was more safety reasons.
Can you inform us what rolling code
Yes,
means?
Henderson,
That
Nevada.
is lights and sirens.
How long did it ultimately take you to get to the scene once the call came out, would you say?
I don't know the exact.
Was it hours, minutes?
22 minutes
few
longer than it
minutes.
should have. So that was
And when you did arrive to the
I forgot
scene,
I'm on
were
Twitch.
you wearing what's called a body worn camera?
my
Yes.
bad.
And was that recording when you did respond?
Yes.
Prior to today, did you review that body worn camera footage?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to admit State's Exhibit 2 that I believe has been previously stipulated between the parties for its admission.
Absolutely, no objection.
Okay, State's 2 will be amended?
Your Honor, permission to publish that exhibit?
Yes.
Okay, so briefly, what happened here is they're going to publish this exhibit in to the courtroom, where anyone in the courtroom will have the opportunity to look at it. Then it'll be, or well, where the guy in the court will have the opportunity to look at it, and then they will determine its admissibility if necessary. Which is a whole different question. We've got a chat here from Ryland Poole. Oh no. Oh no. You can't hear it, can you? How lovely. How lovely. We will fix. See, I think oh my goodness. Okay, this should fix that. What is this? Start over.
She got 2 men, and I can't get even 1. I appreciate her performance, but it needed more radiator handcuffs.
People who say we are too mean to Kurt should be glad we no longer have Sean's voice. There is so much joke material about that Hindenburg prosecutor. Greasy Violet Beauregard, mother fagger.
Yes, the other thing about super tips is the filters on them are much, much lower. Rylan, come on, you don't need radiator handcuffs to get a man. You just hit him with a truck, like a deer. Like a deer. Here we go. Back to this. I like that he looked right at the camera. Cops have to hate all this. Like, now that they're on the stand all the time, they got body cams on all the time. They're always on a camera somewhere. And for a while, they really liked not being on camera because they could just beat you and then just deny it.
So are you able to see that in front of you at that computer screen?
Yes.
Okay. And what does that appear to be?
You sorry, what'd you say?
In front of you, what does that appear to be on the computer screen?
My body cam footage.
This is a process of
And
authenticating.
specifically looking
a
at the
piece of
top
evidence.
right-hand position, do we see a date there?
What is this? Is it
Yeah.
accurate?
And what does that date
What is it
say?
showing?
8721E.
You have to have someone who knows what the thing is
And would that be August 7th,
organically
2023?
Yes.
to authenticate.
And is there a
it.
timestamp at the start of this video?
Yes. 8:46 a.m.
At about 13 seconds?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and play the video from the beginning. And specifically fast forward to about the minute mark. Publishing at 53 seconds.
Recording.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop.
And I'm gonna pause it there at 108. That siren we heard, is that your rolling code, as you would call it?
At this point, I was just trying to get around so I think there was some cars blocking. I was trying to get around to.
Understood. Playing again from 108.
Sure, 52 visual. Good. I can't do one driver from a paramedic call and take the numbers on service, but I love it. Okay, go for it. Sure, 52.
Can't
And
even
I'm
get.
going to pause the video at
Can't even get
1
30
minute, 36
FPS.
seconds. So
Very
when you
embarrassing.
approach the scene, the 2698 Paladura Drive, are there already people at the residence?
Yes, the Henderson Fire Department, and there was somebody outside. I don't know who that was.
But it was a fire department response prior to your response?
Yes.
And is this you obviously walking towards the residence?
Yes.
Is
Playing
it
at
obvious?
1 minute 36
I don't know.
seconds. And I just want to stop it here at 1:42. Is there anything unique about sort of the garage area that you saw when you were walking up to the residence?
That it was just slightly cracked.
Playing at 1:42.
Oh, that's cute. They're bringing a stretcher in for the severed head. What a disaster. He doesn't have a face? Is he dead? I don't know. I didn't want to wake him up.
And I'm stopping here at 1:59. Did
This
you hear
poor old
something in the
couple
background
has-
when you arrived?
No idea.
I mean, a dog barking.
Like how to handle this. How
Do
do
you recall
you?
the dogs being in the house at the time?
I don't recall if they were in the house.
Playing at 1:59.
Okay. So let's lock this down then.
Stopping it at 2 minutes 19 seconds. Was that your voice there, sir?
Yes.
And what did you say in that video?
If it was missing head, let's lock it down.
Okay. And what does lock it down mean?
Meaning there's now a crime scene, so we kind of push everybody out and
Maybe he lost his face naturally. You can't know it's a crime scene. This is my problem with the police. Jumping to conclusions that they have no business jumping to all the time.
What movie was the black time joke from? I've made the joke a few times before, but can never remember the movie to validate the reference and not sound mighty fucking Caucasian. Can't channel the proper nigrosity and micropenicus energy, although this gentleman has likely never had to deal with the latter.
What I think they made the they made the black people time or colored people time. That's from the movie Twitch, not me. I don't refer to them as colored people. Dear God, there are way worse names we could use. I'm just kidding. It was an Undercover Brother, for sure. It probably also happened in Scary Movie 1 or 2 or 3 before the airplane guys took over for Scary Movie 4. I think the Wayans brothers did the first 2, but it's definitely an Undercover Brother. A very, very funny movie. A big fan. Let's see. Random Unbreaded Commenter says the stretcher was because they ran out of Solo cups. Exactly. That's where you properly collect evidence. Oh my gosh.
freeze that area, limit access to the house essentially.
The initial response was not necessarily a response to a crime, is that correct?
Not initially.
It was to see, essentially respond to what was being called into as someone that needed potential medical aid, is that right?
Yes.
But once you saw this, you determined it appeared to be a crime scene and you locked it down.
Yes.
Medical aid is a stretch.
Playing again at 2:19.
Lock this down, let's F5 down.
And I'm going to stop right there at 2 minutes 32 seconds because I hear another term that we may not know. What does FI mean?
FI is a field interview, so essentially we'll gather information, name, date of birth, things of that nature. It's a field interview of people involved.
Okay, and that was
Why do you
because
need to
had
shorten
seen,
field
I
interview?
believe we saw earlier in the video 2 individuals that appeared to have lived in the residence that you wanted to do an interview of. Is that right?
Yes.
Playing again at 2:32.
Hey, Desert Rat AZ, thanks for subscribing over on Twitch. Big ups.
Sarge, 142, right? You good, bro?
Stopping the video at 2 minutes 50 seconds. I hear you on your radio. What are you doing at that point?
At this point, I'm just making sure, due to the nature of the call, making sure the supervisor is on his way.
And
What's
who
up,
was your
Boosh?
supervisor that you were reaching out to?
Sergeant Shields.
And is that typical protocol to reach out to a supervisor in
Yes.
this type of situation?
Yes.
Okay. And when you went into the room, what were your initial observations of what you saw? Clearly, you saw a deceased.
When a bunch of
person, is
cops
that
go into a
right?
house,
Yes.
dogs bark
Anything
like
unique about
crazy
the body?
constantly.
Um,
They know.
I think initially, obviously, that it was decapitated, and there wasn't much blood initially that I figured it would be, and also there was like a strong, like chemical smell inside that room. Was the first initial things that were surprising to me.
Were you able to see what was used to cut off the head or kill the person?
No.
So the state's getting out ahead of this.
Playing at 2 minutes.
This
50
is the state
seconds.
attorney on direct. They know they have a murder weapon problem because everybody watches Law and Order.
No, 71, hey, when you get here, can you grab a crime scene log?
And stopping at 3 minutes 8 seconds. What is a crime scene log?
Crime scene log is, once we determine it's a crime scene, it's pretty much a document to list out who enters or who exits that crime scene.
So in this video, you're essentially asking for one of those. Is that right?
Yes.
This stupid vape is almost done, so I'm trying to
Playing at
finish it.
3:08. And I'm pausing at 3:11. Are those the two individuals that you saw in the home that appear to be residents?
Yes.
Were you able to, through your investigation, identify those two individuals?
Yes.
Okay. And was that Yoko Willette and Masao Yoshida?
Yes.
Always a fucking Yoko.
Playing at
Always.
3:11.
It's probably her fault.
And I'm stopping there at 3:24. We hear in the video that it appears to be only those two individuals as well as the deceased that was in the home at that time. Is that right?
Yes.
Playing at 3:24.
Yoko Ono didn't kill John Lennon. Lennon? Maybe she did. Maybe she killed his spirit. God, the way the video moves, it looks like a fucking... it looks like a round of Counter-Strike. It's like at 22 frames per second with
Stopping
shitty
the
graphics.
video at 3:55. So essentially, after you are walking down the scene, calling your sergeant, and the investigation is underway, what do you do at this point?
At this point, we're just waiting for the sergeant to get here. We're eventually going to set up some crime scene tape and start that crime scene log.
Court's indulgence. Honor, the state will pass the witness. Charles?
Yes, thank you.
Passing around like a tramp.
Officer Cooper, you had said something on your direct. You had testified that obviously you see that this body is missing a head, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you had said that there was not as much blood as you thought there would be, correct?
Yes.
Based upon experience.
In this situation, no, just from being on different types of critical incidents.
Fair to say that there wasn't as much blood there as you thought there would be. Perhaps that head
This
was
is a
removed
key-
somewhere else, correct?
Facet of the defense.
One more time, sorry?
I said, fair to say that based upon you not seeing as much blood as you thought there would be, reasonable assumption is maybe that body was decapitated somewhere else other than where you saw it laying in bed, correct?
I'm not sure if it was moved or what. Just,
He's not.
on
Calls
my
for
initial
speculation.
scene.
Okay. You'd
Objection
also
calls for
testified that when
speculation.
you came into the residence, this smell hit you. I think your testimony was it was a strong smell, correct?
Yes.
Now, there were two other occupants at 849 when you arrived. It was Yoko and the two.
I do not
The
believe
couple.
personally
Yes.
that cops should be
Correct.
allowed to testify about a
Was there ever
smell
an
because
indication
it's
or
not
a statement
empirical.
made to you by either one of them concerning the strong smell in the house?
No.
No. Thank you. No further questions.
No further questions from the state,
So keep.
Jurors have any questions for this witness?
Wait, what?
Okay. Seeing no response, sir, you're excused. Thank you very much for the testimony.
So key facet of the defense strategy is they say there's not much blood for decapitation. Hold on, let me pause this real quick just for a second. There's not much blood for decapitation. Therefore, their argument is maybe he was murdered somewhere else by someone else, and his headless body was brought into the bedroom and deposited there, and that's why there's so little blood. There's big problems with this because how the hell did that happen with no one noticing the new person coming in holding a body over their shoulder? Also, it's the body of a roughly 200-pound man, probably, 192 after the beheading, but a 200-pound man that would have to be carried to this bed. Again, no one sees it. No one notices. There's no blood anywhere else in the house. And the other problem is maybe she did behead him somewhere else, but this doesn't preclude her from being the murderer.
Yes, I do. My name is Forrest Shields, FORESTSHIELDS.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
How are you employed?
How am I employed with the city of Henderson? I'm
sounds nervous
police
AF.
sergeant.
How long have you worked as a police sergeant?
As a police sergeant, approximately 2 years, but as in law enforcement,
Oh, okay, so here we go.
years on our SWAT team.
Oh, I just moved us right into the next thing. So yeah, we're now on the second video, which I said was an hour, but it's an hour and 40 minutes more of testimony. So we're gonna keep plowing through this. Never mind.
Is a training coordinator, ATL on the team, assistant team leader, and then from there I tested out and promoted to sergeant, and went to patrol as a patrol sergeant. And currently I'm assigned to our police academy in charge of training all the new recruits that are coming into the department.
That's an awesome responsibility, right?
Yes.
So then turning your attention to August 7th, 2023, were you working as a patrol sergeant at that time?
Patrol sergeant, yes.
Okay. And what are some of the duties of a patrol sergeant?
Well, patrol sergeants, they typically have approximately 10 patrol officers assigned to them, and you have a specific area of the city that you're responsible for. This was a North Area Command, and you basically monitoring calls that they're going on. The patrol officers are actively patrolling their areas, responding to 911, emergency, non-emergency calls, and if they need assistance from a supervisor, they'll call you to the scene. Supervisors also monitoring the radio. If you think there's a call that may be out of the ordinary and they may need assistance, you'll start heading that way. If there's any critical incidents, you're typically one of the first supervisors on scene to get it stabilized until a watch commander can come out and take over.
Unlike your lungs,
So then
very
turning your
unstable.
attention to that date, was there sort of an out of the ordinary scene that you responded to?
Yes.
And was that at 2698 Paladura Drive in Henderson?
Yes.
What was the nature of the call as you understood it?
Well, it came in as a medical call. Mom called and said that her son was injured and that he was bloody. And I recall the dispatchers tried giving CPR instructions, and just the mom stated, however she stated, that she refused. The call note said that she refused CPR because he had no neck or head, that there was a lot of blood. So it was a medical call, basically.
So we have a
were
lot of
responding
blood
to
now.
Unknown.
The defense, of course, saying that there's
unknown
not a lot of blood.
medical call.
Okay. So you respond to the address, is that right?
Yes.
Random Mudbreaded Commenter says,
And
thank
who's already
you.
there at the time? Do you know?
Movie plans for
The
post-stream are set.
firefighters and one of my guys, Officer Cooper. I think there was a couple officers. Typically the patrol officers, because they're out and about proactively patrolling, they'll get there first, then they'll call me to the scene. So when I got there, fire was on scene. A few of my guys were on scene. They kind of established a crime scene. I met them outside. They gave me a quick brief and went in.
So at the time you arrived then, the scene was locked down as a crime scene, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. What did you notice when you got to the scene?
More like outside, inside?
Yeah, let's start with the outside. So starting from the outside, when you arrived to the scene, did you notice anything of note, at the front of the home?
So I noticed the garage was partially open, maybe, I don't know, 3 feet. The exterior roll-up garage door, and at the front door, there was a older female and male sitting outside talking to one of my officers, and the front door was open. So I just went up and started talking to them.
When you say talking to them, talking to the male and female at the front door?
Yes.
And were they identified as Yoko Willette and Yoshida Masao?
Yes, it ended up being the
Do they have honors?
person in the room.
That
It
was
was their
rude.
mom and I believe her
Why do I always
boyfriend.
see stuff like that?
So the deceased's mother
Yes.
and the mother's boyfriend.
Yes.
So you walk into the front door of the scene. Walk us through what you saw, what you heard, things of that nature.
Okay, so I go in and my officer is escorting me back. So we walk into like the living room area, go into the kitchen, take a few steps down, and come back this way. It's like a converted living room area maybe that was converted into a bedroom. And the bed is to our right. And then laying on the bed was a body, the deceased.
How do you know he was dead? Did
Do
you
you want me to
check?
explain that more? Or?
Was there anything you noticed that
Be
you
quiet.
smelled when you were inside the room?
Well, initially, but we didn't know what it was until later. But you could kind of taste and smell
Ew.
like a little burning that's not common walking into people's houses.
A burning?
So you described it as a burning, like a chemical burning smell. Was that right?
Yeah, like you could kind of taste it a little bit, and you could definitely felt it in your nostrils. But it wasn't really strong when we first went in. As strong as it seemed like it got stronger the longer we were there.
And more in the bedroom area.
Yes.
And you may have
It's
already
the state
said this, but
setting
was
up
there
that
anything
the
unique about
severing
the body
of
when
the
you
head
saw it?
happened in the bedroom.
Well, so like I said, I came from the kitchen down the stairs, came around. The bed is here, and the body was laying face down on the bed, and the shoulders were kind of, if the body was laying this way, face down, the shoulders were kind of even with the edge of the bed, and I think it was partially wrapped in a blanket. And just things that I noticed, there didn't appear to be like signs of any struggle or anything. Like there wasn't a bunch messed up. It was just kind of laying there, like the arms weren't moved or anything. So it's pulled to the edge, and it just, in my mind, I thought, man, that was just a really clean cut, and then there was no head.
Okay.
And then
Now you had mentioned the body was
Did she
laying
just
on the bed.
chuckle?
Is that right?
the body was
Hold
laying
on.
in bed, yes.
And
I
was
gotta
it
find-
on the body staying?
And there was no head.
Okay.
And then
Now you had mentioned the
She
body
made
was,
like a little
was laying
squeak
on the
for
bed.
a
Is that
second.
right?
the body was laying on the bed, yes.
And
A
what
random unbreaded commenter says face down is probably not the best word choice. Yeah, no kidding.
was it on the body's stomach?
Yes,
the
on the
person's
stomach,
stomach?
laying face down. Yeah, the back was facing up.
Okay. And where the head would have been off the bed. Is that right?
Yes, like I said, the shoulders were kind of in line right with the edge of the bed. So the head would have been out here.
The
Did
head
you
would have
see any
been
blood
right
at the scene?
here.
I did
Buddy,
see blood,
stop.
but just from experience over the years, like you've seen people shot or stabbed or other loose
Bender
limb
Jill
on a
said
motorcycle accident.
She definitely
or
was using a sharper
other
knife than
type
Kurt.
of trauma to the body, you would expect to see a lot more blood. And that was something that stuck in my head, is like, there's blood, but I would expect to see a lot more, especially under where the head would have been. Like, I don't know if
This is bad
like
testimony
maybe
for the
something
state
was
here.
put there or something to collect. It's what it appeared. Like maybe something was put there to collect the blood, because there was
What if it was
just
a
what appeared to
laundry
be
basket?
not as much blood that you would imagine being there.
So no blood spattering, things of that nature that you might
Right.
normally
I remember there was blood on the mattress to the right of the body, and then a small, I mean, I don't know if that's small, I think there's a small amount of blood on the floor. And then, yeah, looking around, the wall wasn't very far away. You would expect to see some type of cast off, splatter, spatter, blood anywhere, but it was just, it appeared
Yeah,
like a very
Davenport, that was the
clean
joke. Thanks.
scene, other than the body, the blood, the little blood.
Corndog the Hoosier.
Now, the color of the
I
blood,
am
was it
out of
unusual?
prison. I never had to go.
Yeah, typically, I mean, blood is pretty obvious. Like we've all seen blood, but this one wasn't
Don't
like
assume
the
I've seen
typical
blood.
fresh red blood. It was more of like a black color.
And that's not normal based on your training and experience from what you've seen with bloody incidents.
Based on my experience and being at other crime scenes.
All right, so real quick, again, this is a little bit problematic testimony for the state because the state is trying to assert that she killed and decapitated him. The defense is trying to assert that he was killed elsewhere and decapitated elsewhere and then brought there. You know, the darker color of the blood is likely due to a lack of oxygenation. The small amount of blood is also likely due to the fact that the heart is stopped at death, which means that the blood isn't actively pumping, which reduces the amount of blood in general. Blood will still pool up and pour out due to, gravity and other factors like that. But if the heart isn't pumping, it can't circulate the blood, so you don't get the amount that would normally come out if you decapitated someone while they were alive. For example, it took their heart a minute to kind of stop beating. But again, this is problematic testimony for the state. The state wants, them to say that, no, it was right there. And he's kind of covering it up by saying maybe it was, collected in a bucket or whatever. It's very speculative. I'm not sure that it's that they have anything to base that on, and they maybe should have objected to that. But they're still in trouble here because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where his head was removed or if it was removed there or not. Even if he died and had been laying there for a couple hours, you would start to see maybe some of these effects. I'm not a doctor, so I don't exactly know how long it takes for the blood to be dark and stuff like that. But you've got this issue here with, again, the heart isn't beating, the blood isn't oxygenized anymore, and then oxygenated, I think is the word. The blood isn't oxygenated anymore, and so you're going to have it start to discolor, and you're not going to have it pumping out of the body as normal or as one might expect. But none of that says that she didn't do it. That's the problem. The biggest problem with the defense theory here is, well, none of this says she didn't do it and then move him in, or she didn't, decapitate him and collect the stuff. It could have been her just because they don't know exactly how it went down. Benta Gel says she was definitely using a sharper knife than Kurt. Random Unbreaded Commenter, this decapitation brought to you by Kamikoto Knives. You can get your Kamikoto Knives special edition Black Friday deal with promo code He'll Lose His Head. Make sure you buy him one for Christmas. That's Kamikoto Knives. Holly Movie Star says, how long was a person dead before decap blood congeals? We don't know. We don't know those answers. We just seem to know that he was deceased prior to the decapitation. That seems to be the state's theory of the case. And they'll bring in an expert, presumably, to show us that.
With, the time lapse, no, not common and not consistent with what I've seen in the past.
Now, you mentioned to us that you have 28 years of law enforcement experience.
Yes.
Was this the first decapitation you responded to in your career?
I was thinking about that. I can't recall another decapitation.
Something you would probably remember if you did see it before, right?
Yes.
So it's not your everyday event that you see something like this, right?
No.
Did you inspect any other rooms other than that bedroom where the body was found?
Yes, so after seeing that and just thinking about the blood, I went around. So if you go around the bed, back there's kind of like a little hallway that led into a bathroom. So I walked into the bathroom, and before I went to the bathroom, I remember having to step over 2 bottles of like cleaning, liquid cleaning bottles, some kind of Clorox or that type of thing, bottles laying on the carpet prior to getting to the bathroom. So stepped over those, went into the bathroom because I was wondering maybe if there was be blood in the sink or blood in the bathroom or anything, but nothing appeared. There didn't appear to be any blood in there, and didn't appear to be any signs of struggle in there either. So the other things that I noticed that the mom
Didn't even put up a fight. What a pussy.
I confirmed what she had told me, where she said when she came downstairs, she thought it was weird that the dogs were locked out, and the interior garage door, the single door, was propped open, and then the exterior door was rolled up. So when I came out of the bathroom, I noticed that just that the interior garage door was propped open, the exterior roll-up door was part of the way up.
Okay. Now I want to turn back to the body that you saw. Did you notice anything peculiar emanating from the body?
It was actually pointed out by one of my officers on the scene. I was kind of by the foot of the bed, I think, and he said, "Hey, Sarge, this guy's smoking." And I was like, "What?" He said, "This guy's smoking. There's smoke coming from underneath him." So I go over there and see he's shining his flashlight. You could see kind of smoke coming off of the body, or what appeared to be some
He's
smoke
just gay and
coming off the
vaping,
body.
okay?
So I told my officer, I said, "Hey,
Happens to some
get a
of us.
camera and start taking pictures of this scene," because in my mind I'm thinking, if this catches on fire, we need to get as much photos as we can before we lose the scene to a fire, and then firemen shooting water all over everything. So
everybody's spraying everything all over the scene.
So then we get closer and he's shining his light, and then you can really start. It was coming, like I said, if he's laying face down on his shoulders, it was more coming from like under him.
Did he eat Thai food? Is this a Looney Tunes
like the chest
cartoon?
area?
What the fuck are we talking
from
about?
between like the bed and him. So that's why I didn't know, all right, is this something that's going to start on fire? But then once we got closer, taking a closer look, that's when you could really smell, and it burned inside of your nose, and you could really taste
your
it.
nose.
So I'm like, hey, we got to clear the guys out of there. This is some kind of chemical that's mixing.
Okay.
Mixing chemicals typically smoke?
Did you eventually then get a statement from Yoko Willette, the deceased mother?
I talked to her.
Okay.
I didn't get like an official statement, like a detective.
You spoke with her.
I spoke
Is that right?
with her.
What did she share with you?
She shared with me that she last saw them.
And it's not being offered for the truth of the matter asserted, it's just for the investigation. And what led to the investigation.
Yeah, they do this. Like, no, it's just for the investigation. Why are you... For the investigation is still for the truth of the matter asserted, right? Like, she told me this. Well, it's not for the truth of the matter asserted, it's just for the investigation. But it's like, but you're saying that this happened because she told you the thing. That's the truth of the matter asserted. Ammonia and hydrochloric acid will smoke. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a chemist.
So after taking this statement or speaking with Yoko,
Yes.
and conducting that initial investigation, did you eventually call the lieutenant to come out?
Yes, the patrol supervisor, yeah, that's your job. You get there, make sure the crime scene is locked down, taped off, so all the evidence and the crime scene is preserved. Then that's why I spoke to her to get a brief story, so I could report up my chain. So once I get the story, my guy's observations, the story from mom, I put that together. I call my watch commander, and then we make notifications to get detectives and crime scene to come out to the scene to hand over the investigation to them.
And did you learn through your investigation that there were children as well involved?
Yes.
Okay. And were you attempting to
involved?
locate those children?
Yes, and that was because the mom had, and part of my conversation with her, said that he was supposed to take the kids to school.
Okay. And
So the kids are referring to
I
are the
believe you
two
mentioned there was crime
daughters.
scene tape that was put up around the residence to lock it down as well.
Devyn Michaels had two daughters with the man that is murdered in a prior relationship, though they were never married. I believe I said that at the beginning, but if I didn't, it's in the description. Anyway, they had two daughters, and then she married his son. His son was from a previous relationship. She was a stepmom. So literally, like, the porn categories went right to her head, and she brought him to his.
Yes.
Okay. And while you were waiting for the lieutenant as well as other investigators to arrive, did you also still investigate the scene and look around for different things of evidentiary value?
Yes, the male's truck was outside, so we moved the crime scene tape around the truck. Noticed, I think, what we thought there were spots on the driveway that we thought may be evidence. So, yeah, and
Was she hot?
at
Devyn
that
Michaels.
point, I kind of break away.
I mean,
once it's secure,
she looked pretty
and
good
I
at
start
times.
kind of getting my thoughts and the information
Google at your
put
own
down,
risk.
because when the detectives and crime scenes show up, it's my responsibility to give them a brief when I turn over the scene.
And as part of your duties as well, did you initially send individuals, other officers, to canvass for different surveillance footage as well?
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of standard protocol on the crime scenes. Once you have everything secure, your extra officers go out, try and find witnesses.
Their stepbrother
Other
became their
officers go and try and
stepdad.
video surveillance.
Very
that
fucking weird.
May have caught something.
Very
so you
Arkansas.
mentioned that you were putting together a brief for this case, is that right?
Yes.
And as part of that brief, is there an event number and a report number assigned to the case?
Yes.
Can you tell us the difference between the two?
Well, the event number is a longer number. It's the year, the month, the day, and then the number of calls in that 24-hour period. So at midnight, the next police emergency call that comes in will be year, month, day 001. The 10th call will be 0010. So that's how the event numbers cover the 24-hour period of police work. And then the report number covers the annual period of police work for police reports taken. So it'll start with the year and then the number of report it is. So at January 1st, 1201, the first police report taken will be, for next year, will be 26, 4 zeros and a 1.
Okay. So starting then with the event number, in this case, do you have a reason to dispute that the event number was HP 230807000355?
No.
Okay. And the report number for this case, do you have a reason to dispute it being 23-15229?
No.
Does that sound correct?
Yeah.
And so while you're doing your briefing, eventually detectives and crime scene analysts eventually show up to the scene. Is that right?
Yes.
And after they showed up, what did you do?
So they showed up. I let them know about the chemical smell, the possible hazard, and the smoking. And then, like I said, I give them a brief. Basically, I write up. It has the report number, location.
Yeah, the mic kind of hides the tie, but
the rescue that was on scene, their information.
That's
the
just how it's
initial
gonna
patrol
be.
officers that made entry with them, the time they made entry. Then the information of the deceased, the information of the other people in the home. It's just basically like an overview of what we have. And then that there was no obvious weapon on the scene, and just kind of some of the abnormal, typical things that we talked about already.
And so after you give this briefing, does your role cease at that point?
Yes, that's when, if they have any questions, they would ask questions. Then I do a walkthrough with them, showing them where my officers went, what we did, things that we thought may possibly be important, and then turn over the scene to them, and then we move out, and then they handle it. So I would then look at my staffing and see how many people do I need here for this. For sure, one for the crime scene log up front, and then I start clearing guys off the call to go clear up other calls that are pending.
don't worry, this guy's not going anywhere. You guys can go do some other
State House
stuff.
is the witness, Your Honor.
Sergeant Seals, you've been employed in law enforcement for 28 years.
Yes, sir.
Worked your way up.
Yes, sir.
You're an instructor.
Yes, sir.
A lot of experience.
Worked your way up from the ground with your bare hands.
You testified that you've been in multiple crime scenes through these 28 years.
Yes.
Fair to say that you know, a severed appendage, an arm and a leg's going to bleed, but a head, I mean, there's got to be a lot more blood going on there, correct? One would assume.
You would think so.
And you would testify that when you got there, having been on so many crime scenes, you go and you look in the bathroom because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, you're assuming this head wasn't, I mean, removed from the body here on the bed. It had to have been somewhere else. Fair to say?
No, I didn't say that. It seemed like because the shoulders were pulled to the edge of the bed, it appeared that it was done there. But I was looking to see, you know, because the shoulders pulled away here. It didn't appear that it was done somewhere else.
But you said you went and looked in the bathroom, correct?
Yeah, to see if there was like cleanup, signs of struggle, or something.
Blood?
Yeah, blood from while washing your hands. Because I looked in the sink around the ring and didn't see anything that.
Based upon the blood markings on the bed, it was clear the body had been moved.
I can't say that.
Okay. Can't give an opinion one way or the other?
Well, the body was here. There was
Thanks,
blood
Luther.
on the right side of the body.
Yes, it is me.
And like I said,
difficult to
directly
recognize
under
without the
where
hot tub.
Shoulders were.
It's true.
There was an area
In the
of blood
bikini.
like that, but I don't. Yeah.
But you testified things just didn't seem right, and that's why you went and you looked in the bathroom, correct?
Yes.
Didn't seem right.
And I mean, you'd agree with me. You talk about a bucket. I mean, that's just you're speculating. I mean, you're hypothesizing. Fair to say.
Absolutely.
And fair to say that you can't say. I mean, something was wrong, so you went and you looked in the bathroom, correct? Based upon what you saw.
Based on what I saw, like I said, that is speculation, but it's like what made sense with the way that the blood was, the body was, lack of blood on the thing, the shoulders lined up with the side. And part of me going into the bathroom also is just before I turn things over to detectives, I want to make sure that I checked everything in case they have questions for me.
Fair enough. But again, you would have expected to have seen a lot more blood, correct? Had
Yes.
the head just been chopped off or sawed off or however removed there, correct?
If they were alive at the time.
There we
'cause
go.
When I have seen those injuries, if you're alive, your blood is pumping and it squirts.
I don't know if this guy's
you know,
blood has ever
I've
pumped,
seen a
and
guy
I
cut
don't
his
think
neck
he's
and it
qualified to talk
squirts
about
all over the
squirting.
place.
Stop
Have you ever had
it.
any cases
they're
where
alive.
you ever had
Poser.
any experience where a head's been cut off with a saw alive or dead?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so we don't know. Then. Fair to say?
Fair to
But you
say.
went and looked in the bathroom, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. No further questions.
So Bronco left a debate with Destiny. That's funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, is there have any questions? Please, sir, you can write your question on a full sheet of paper with your name and your turn number. King Council approach.
I don't know. When I debated Destiny, I didn't really find his. Thank you for killing everybody. God, that was horrible. I didn't really find Destiny's debate tactics to be very effective, and I didn't find his argumentative strategy to be very useful. He didn't actually make any cogent points on the debate that we had. He didn't seem to know the subject matter. Destiny is a fast talker and a confident talker, which makes it seem like he's good at debate. That I will say. And I think he relies on that maybe like a crutch. Unfortunately, he doesn't always know the subject. He just sounds like he does. Listen, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, but that you didn't actually say anything. If you're talking
Yes,
to
ma'am.
Bronco on a subject that he knows, you're going to get fucking smoked.
Were the dogs hers or the victim? Did she tell you?
The only thing, the direct answer to your question is, I don't know whose they were.
Was it no? Did she tell you if it was normal for them to be locked out based on their conversation with your crew?
She said it was abnormal.
Okay. State any follow-up based on the jury question? No, Your Honor. Defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Just ladies and gentlemen, jury have any further questions for this witness? Okay, seeing no response, sir, you're excused. Thank you very much for your testimony here today.
So this is really interesting. I'm not familiar with this. I haven't seen this before. Maybe it's a Nevada state thing, but the judge is allowing the jury to come together and ask a question of the witness, which is a little bit wild. They submit it to the judge. The judge actually asks the question from the jury and then takes on the answer. That's crazy. Like I can't. Okay, like I've never seen that before. I haven't watched any Nevada trials that I'm aware of.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the next witness is going to take a little bit of time, so we're going to take a brief bathroom break, and the next witness will take us through the rest of the day. During this break, you must not discuss or communicate with anyone, including fellow jurors, in any way during this case or its merits, either by voice, phone, email, text, internet, or other means of communication or social media. You must not read, publish, listen to any news or media accounts or commentary about this. You must not do any research, such as consulting dictionaries, using the internet, or using references. You must not make any investigation, test the theory of the case, reprove any aspect of the case, or in any other way investigate or learn about the case on your own. You must not forward or trust any opinion regarding this case to a spot to. Ladies and gentlemen, 325 will be research for 340. All rise for the jury.
Good Lord. Okay, so I'm gonna just oh wait, we gotta, damn it. So we do have something to happen here.
Thank you, Dr. Frank, for abstract presence of the jury. You guys have any matters outside the presence?
No, ma'am.
All right. All right, we're going to reset for 340.
So I'm hearing, I didn't know about this. I'm hearing there's a debate over on Good Logic's stream. My friend Joe, and he had Bronca and Destiny on. Who else? Who else? Maybe we have a show. Maybe we need to review some of the debate that's going on. I have no idea what the subject is. If anybody wants to throw in any of the chats what the subject is, that would be great. Logic is getting killed because he can't deal with Destiny's tactics. Well, who knows? You should debate Stuttering John and his pending revenge porn charge. I'm not aware. Did he do that? Is he getting charged with that? I would debate him on his lawsuit against Carl and Shuley because it's obviously bananas. It's one of the stupidest lawsuits I've ever read, and we need to get back to finishing it. They're debating capitalism. Why would you debate Destiny on capitalism? He's functionally retarded on the subject. His faux intellect is effectively a complete demonstration of the dangers of socialism. We're just kicking along here. Okay. Okay, here we go. There's some stuff about to happen. So we get to fast forward through this crap, which is nice. Wait, to be Flair says he's suing them. Okay, brief aside. If you don't know who John Melendez is, he's Stuttering John from the Howard Stern Show. And yes, he's suing someone I know and consider at least an associate or friend, which is Carl Herberger. Herberger. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm not that close, but he's suing him. He's the host of Who Are These Podcasts. And he's also suing a guy named Shuley, who is host of the Shuley Network, which I think was kicked off of YouTube. I'm not sure due to strikes or something. I don't know. Don't really care. These guys have been talking about Stuttering John Melendez for a long time. And oh my God, the judge creeping up in the bottom of the show. Sorry, I just saw it. But these guys have been talking about Stuttering John, making fun of him, and his lack of capacity or ability for years, just like many podcasters do about many people. He is suing them for harassment, defamation, false light, all these different things. The lawsuit that was written by an actual attorney. It wasn't written by John himself, allegedly, except the problem with the actual attorney who wrote it is he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing at all. And his complaint is utter garbage and self-defeating. I had started reviewing it. Maybe we need to go on and finish the rest of it. Although, actually, I probably won't because there's a second amended complaint now that the judge is waiting to accept, and maybe we'll review that. But that lawsuit is in all facets a lull suit. It involves someone who's a complete dummy suing people for laughing at him on the internet. Pro tip out there, when you sue someone for laughing at you on the internet, you're almost always deserving to lose, and you're almost always in the losing position, which is on your hands and knees with a ball gag in your mouth. Unless you like that. That's a winning position for some, I think. In this case, he and his lawyer look like complete idiots. Carl and Shuli stand to lose a bunch of money fighting a lawsuit that they shouldn't have to fight because it's obviously frivolous. But if Stuttering John has the resources that people think, New York's anti-SLAPP may be awarding them the fees that it takes to fight, and that would be devastating for John if he does have any money to take. Who knows? We'll probably just keep watching. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit all the buttons. And we'll find out at some point. Now let's see what this judge is peeking over their corner for. What's up, Rita? How you doing? Happy to have you here.
That was the power cord to the computer.
Oh, you need that?
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe the wires.
This is just... What a mess this courtroom is. This guy's making a phone call. He's like, delete my browser history, please.
It's working out. Well, thought it was. Hold on. Hold on. Thought it was. Hold on.
State attorney looks like she'd be cute if she stopped going to the bakery. Looks like she could lose at least a half a person, maybe even a whole person. Desiraz asks a very important question. Why is their audio so bad? Look, this is just court. What happens in court isn't important. It's not like the most important thing that people go through in many of their lives. You know, like none of that. Don't worry about it. It's just court. So stop. Why would you discriminate? The state doesn't have resources or people or experience and all this technology like microphones and audio and like speakers and mixing boards and all that. That's all new. No one can figure out how to do this. There's no way your average person can figure out how to mic up a couple different people and have them be audible. Like, that's not possible. So Hannah says, don't you like them bouncy, Nick? You know, I'm of the Patrick Bateman mentality. You can always be thinner, look better. Officer Tomasello, is it true that you went to Krispy Kreme and they went out of business? There's the defendant, Devyn Michaels. Again, she has her hair brushed over to the side, obscuring her face from the cameras and their positioning most of the time. And she has experience either obscuring or revealing various things through positioning and camera work. Like, she's a pro. I would literally imagine that was intentional.
All rise for the jury.
Do I like Phil Collins? Yeah. Another Day in Paradise is one of my favorite songs. I don't know why. I heard it a lot in the car when I was a kid. You call that brushed? I mean, swooped, moved, placed.
Please be seated. Your Honor, the jury's all present and accounted for. We are back on the record and C, 377-239, State of Ghana versus
Oh,
Devyn
yes.
Michaels.
That's right. Patrick Bateman goes on his lecture about Phil Collins in Genesis.
Yes,
Beautiful.
Yes, Your Honor.
Stephanie Wilson.
And he does Huey Lewis in the News, whom I also like. I'm no slouch. What do we have here?
Please only swear or affirm this.
Holy shit, it's Officer Adorable. I believe everything she says. Does she have a Twitch channel? Thunderkid says, I'm digging the Hunter S. Thompson era. Thanks, man. I am too. Having a good time.
Knowing about the witness action, shall the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
May I see?
Thank you.
And can you please state your full name and then spell out the record?
Stephanie Wilson, STEPHANIE-WI.
Will you move the skin sack in front of the witness, please? We have research to do.
LSON.
Thank you. Ma'am, what do you do for a living?
I am currently employed as the crime scene analyst supervisor for the Henderson Police Department.
And how long have you been with Henderson Police Department in total?
I have been with Henderson for 18 years.
How long have you been working in your current capacity as crime scene supervisor?
For 13 years.
What did you do prior to being the crime?
I'm going to say it. Of all the trials I've watched, this is the best looking police officer, or well, you know, like government employee that has been on a witness stand. I'm pretty sure. Someone proved me wrong. Male or female, I don't care. Like I know, like I'm not excluding the ladies here. If you think there's a better candidate from the, you know, the male side of this that is better looking than her as a female or as a man, whichever. You can submit your suggestions, but I'm not aware of any.
Scene supervisor.
I was a crime scene analyst with Henderson. And then 2 years prior to me getting hired on at Henderson, I was employed with Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, also as a crime scene analyst.
And what type of training and education do you have that
Karen
allows you to do
Reed?
what you do?
No.
So upon getting hired, you go through an 11-week academy. It's like a classroom type setting. If you successfully complete field training, you...
No, incorrect. Incorrect. This girl is way better looking than Officer Devers. Come on.
Go through, the academy, we go through about 16 weeks of field training. And then my current job also requires a certification from the International Association for Identification.
Dr. Muffins is not a state employee. She's a good candidate.
Every year, so.
I would presume Henderson Police Department responds to calls for service in Henderson.
Correct.
That's here within Clark County, Nevada.
Correct.
What types of calls for service have you responded to in your career?
Everything ranging from property crimes all the way up to homicides, officer-involved shootings, everything across the board.
Let's focus in on homicides. Describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury who may not be familiar with law enforcement.
Let's focus on homicides. What a great line. You get to say some wild stuff as an attorney when you're talking to people.
How is it that you get involved in a homicide scene?
In my current capacity, I respond to all homicides. I'm the only crime scene supervisor for Henderson PD, so my job is to respond and...
There you go, guys. If you want to meet this lovely officer, all you have to do is get murdered. She will respond to your homicide.
To assist my folks and facilitate whatever they need in my capacity.
If you could describe the general duties of a crime scene analyst, not necessarily yourself, but someone who's just a crime scene analyst.
Sure. So we respond to the scene and we handle all aspects.
Canuckster says, "Wow, you've changed, man." Wait, what have I changed? What are you talking about? I need to know what the thing was that I changed because in the past couple minutes I've been pretty consistent.
Aspects of the crime scene documentation, everything from taking photos to evidence collection to latent print processing, shooting reconstruction, bloodstain pattern analysis, anything and everything involved in crime scene documentation.
When you document a crime scene, I presume that is done under a particular report number or event number?
Yes.
And is that a unique identifying number that allows you to categorize everything from this particular scene or investigation is associated with this number?
Yes.
And then Henderson tracks their event number via a report writing system, and people can add to that and update reports. Is that fair? In this particular case, were you operating under event number 23-15229?
Yes.
If you could describe for the ladies and gentlemen how it is that you received this call for service.
So on an incident like this, I will typically get notified by the detective sergeant. Usually the homicide sergeant or the homicide lieutenant will get the initial call from patrol, and then they will call me and let me know that we may have an incident, and we'll coordinate detectives as well as crime scene personnel responding to the scene.
And is it your duty or your responsibility to assign your crime scene analyst to a particular call?
Yes.
And is that based on a rotation or a shift? How does that work?
So my folks are assigned shifts, so they work shifts, and then once we get to the scene and determine what we have, we'll start assigning our responsibilities.
And on August 7th of 2023, our date.
Holly Movie Star says, is it homicides or homicides? I guess it depends on the victim, right? At that point. Okay, back to this
question. Do you remember how many crime scene analysts you were supervising at the time?
2 at the time.
At that scene?
At that scene, yes.
Overall, how many in your team?
8. I have 8 total.
Okay. And is it common for a homicide scene such as this to have 2 plus a supervisor?
At least 2, if not more, and myself as well.
Okay. Who are the other 2 that responded to this scene with you?
So I had CSA Megan Bone and CSA Randy Newbold with me.
And you mentioned dividing up duties. How do you go about doing that?
It's usually based on a rotation at some level, workloads, but usually one person is assigned photographs and writing the report, and the other person is assigned evidence and diagramming.
And you mentioned processing earlier, like latent print processing.
Correct.
Is that actually something you and your crime scene analysts do hands-on?
Yes.
Can you describe generally the process of latent print processing and then go into DNA processing?
Sure. So latent print processing is really determined on the surface area that we're trying to process. It, depending on whatever you're trying to process, will determine what type of powders we use. There's multiple different types of powders or techniques we'll utilize, again, depending on that surface. But we will utilize these powders. We will photograph it if needs be, and then using tape, we'll collect the tape, and we'll collect it using the tape, put it on the latent print card.
How about DNA processing?
So DNA processing is, we'll get there, we'll do a visual inspection. If something looks like it could be blood, we'll photograph it first, and then we will perform a presumptive test to see if it is blood. There's a lot of things that look like blood that are maybe not blood, so we'll perform a presumptive test, and then if it is determined to be blood, we'll document it accordingly and collect a sample.
Okay. So the instant case, you responded on August 7th of 2023.
Yes.
Did you respond to 2698 Palo Duro?
Yes.
Obviously within your jurisdiction of Henderson.
The blurring of the state prosecutor is called the bokeh effect, in which a camera is focused on a different position and anything in a different depth is actually blurred out. So that's the bokeh effect. I believe maybe the bokeh effect only refers to things in the background being blurred, not in the foreground. Anybody who's a photographer can correct me.
And do you remember around what time you responded?
We arrived at the scene at roughly about 10 in the morning.
When you responded to the scene, did you get a briefing from the folks who were
we
already
on
on
Goon
scene?
Watch?
We did. From the
No gooning.
personnel on scene, we got a briefing.
When you received the briefing, well, generally, what is the purpose
Gooning
of
is
getting
disallowed.
Just to get all the information we have up until that point. Usually it's just to get report numbers, names, dates of births, details of the calls for service, maybe what patrol or fire observed when they first got there, just kind of your basic preliminary information.
Okay. Are there times in which you will receive
You know
a
what annoys
briefing
me about her,
and
though?
that
She
will
looks
guide
sideways.
you in what to focus on, what is normal or abnormal in the scene itself?
It's like she's trying to look around her hair. It's very like she's not just looking forward. If she was looking forward, it'd be off at an angle. That's weird. Why are you looking sideways at this guy? Or anybody? Why? Stop it.
Yes.
And so you're receiving this information in order to determine kind of how to approach the scene. Is that
Sure.
correct? What was the briefing you received in this case?
In this particular case, we received information that that the victim had been found by his mother, that he was laying in bed, and that there was a strong odor of chemicals in the area that he was found. We weren't really sure yet, but we had patrol had advised that.
I don't know where they're going with the chemical thing. I'll stop pausing it soon. They're talking. Very rude. I don't know where they're going with the chemical thing because I don't remember the chemicals from opening arguments, but I might have zoned out for a second. She looks at dead bodies for a living. That's why I said no gooning. It's very not proper. Ricada Law, I thought the Boca effect was living on a boat with a Gatorade in Florida. Which is, might add, you're completely dressed for. Just need the Daytona Ferrari. There you go. Yeah, that's true.
That they believed that his head was gone, was missing. That is such a rare.
Maybe the state's going to make the case that she
occasion
poisoned
or,
him.
I guess, circumstance for us that we still were a little skeptical going into that. We weren't sure if we were dealing with
A little Drano goes a long way.
gunshot wound or something like that. They could explain that, I guess. So.
Well, let me stop you. Just
A Holly movie star says she can dust for my chocolate starfish print. What do we do if they don't have thumbs or fingers? Like if they don't have fingertips, like in 7 when he burned all those off. It's like, oh, no. We can analyze the anal print.
Okay.
Are there times in which you've responded to scenes where it may be reported in that way, the head is gone, but it's just severely damaged from a gunshot wound or something like that?
Yes.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, that's
Like
what I'm referring to.
A little skeptical.
Yes.
Didn't really think it was an actual decapitation.
Correct.
Okay. And so you received that information. Do you receive information related to how many people were at the home at the time the body was discovered?
Yes, we were told that there were, the victim was in the scene and then there were 2 other individuals that were in the scene.
And were those 2 elderly Asian American folks?
Yes.
Did you see them when you arrived? Were they still there?
We did. We had moved them outside of the house. They were sitting outside the front of the house.
And after receiving your briefing, do you essentially go in and do what we refer to as a walkthrough?
Yes.
What does that mean for the jury?
So we go in and we just do a brief walk around the scene and see what we have. We're not.
Okay, hear me out. They mentioned the gunshot. Are they saying, is there going to be something where like the gunshot somehow caused some smoke? Like that doesn't make any sense. They just mentioned it. They don't know if he was shot or not, I don't believe. Because it would have been the head. Shot in the head, which I don't think they found.
Starting anything at that point, we're just assessing the scene and what's in the scene and what we need to be cognizant of, and it's just very brief.
Okay. Once the walkthrough is done, and I presume a search warrant was authored and issued
Yes.
in the process of this.
Yes.
And pursuant to that search warrant, a judge authorized you all to go in and do your investigation.
Correct.
When the walkthrough is going on, are crime scene analysts documenting at that time?
Not during the walkthrough.
Okay, so it's the next step when they begin documentation?
Right. We actually try to limit how many people go through the initial walkthrough because we want to try to minimize any type of contamination,
sure,
if at all possible. So not everyone necessarily does the walkthrough, but yes, once the search warrant is signed and we're authorized to go in at that point, I send in one person, usually that person taking photos, and they go in by themselves, so that we're minimizing any contamination, and they photograph the entire scene.
And you bring up a good point. Is it common on homicide scenes for first responders to
one of the
have gone
guards
into the
would
scene
go in.
before your arrival?
Yes.
And first responders could be patrol officers and or
We
fire
have
department
here is
paramedics.
That's what happens most of the time, yes.
I would
Failure
presume
to
their goal is
communicate.
life-saving measures initially.
Absolutely.
Your goal is a little different. Once it's clear that the life is not being saved, you're then trying to limit access.
Correct.
But you're certainly not going to limit someone going in to try to save somebody's life.
Correct.
Okay. And in this case, you mentioned that
We'll have a
the
glasses
duties were divided
removal
up a
goal.
Yes.
Did you say who
We
was
said
doing
goals for
photography?
everything. That'd be great.
CSA megaphone.
Okay. And is there typically what's referred to as a crime scene diagram authored?
Yes.
Who did that in this case?
So in this particular case, we had actually just gotten a new piece of equipment. We had just gotten a scanner. It's like a 3D scanner. So I actually did the scans of the scene, and it just generates point cloud data of the scene. And Megan was able to take that data and put it into this computerized diagram.
May I approach?
Yes.
Show me C16. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What does that appear to be?
That is the diagram of the scene.
And who's the addition to that?
No objections to that?
No objection.
That being there?
May I publish?
Yes.
Thank you. Showing the jury 16. So this particular diagram, does this encompass kind of the lower levels of the home?
Yes.
Describe the home kind of generally how it was set up, including levels.
So when you initially walk through the front door of the residence, I would consider that maybe a lower level. You walk in the front door into this formal living room. From there, there's like a couple of steps that lead up into that formal dining room and kitchen area. The dining room and kitchen area are all on.
Big thank you to Sriv with a bunch of sevens, sending 5 gifted memberships. If you get a gifted membership, you need to do 2 things. You don't need to, but you should. You should think about it. And that is, you should, 1, send a thank you to the person who gave it to you. Their generosity has allowed you to become a member, and that's good. More members are better. At least that's what I learned from Bonnie Blue. That said, the other thing you should do is check out the membership streams, the members only streams. They are a ton of fun. We learn about cooking from someone who's very, very good at it and adept with it. So check them out. And if you like it, consider being one of the voluntary subscribers instead of the involuntary subscribitude that was placed upon you. Geocache also sent a gifted membership. Thank you guys. Love when you guys gift those subs, because basically you're just giving more content to people, more access to more content that people may not even know exists, and probably making their lives better. And by probably, I mean definitely.
Essentially the same level. From there, on, I guess it would be the east side of that dining area, next to the kitchen, there is again another set of a couple stairs that lead back down into that living room where the decedent was found.
So bottom left.
Just on that subject, Divining Rod asked if the Wellington Cook episode happened already. No, the Wellington Prep episode happened not yesterday, the day before, I think it was, which was a very long video. The Wellington Cook episode will happen really soon. Trying to get a hold of locals to work something out. And that's going to be just beautiful. The other thing, I do have another video that involves, all of the classic things to watch. And we may do that as early as tonight. We may have a members only stream tonight. It kind of depends on how my schedule goes. And then we might have to talk about this debate tomorrow or something. We'll see. There's a bunch of fun stuff. Anyways, back to this thing. We're gonna get through this trial.
Of the diagram, exhibit 16, is this the front door?
Yes.
And then you said you walk into the living room?
Yes.
And then there are a couple steps up to the formal dining room?
Yes.
and then a couple steps down to what we'll refer to as, the victim's room.
Yes.
And here it's listed as living room. It's kind of a converted room. Is that fair?
Yes.
Dining and formal dining room are on the same level.
Yes.
And then there's some stairs that go up to bedrooms upstairs.
Correct.
Okay. Based upon the scene and kind of how you're approaching it, I would presume that you searched the entire house.
We did not personally. The crime scene personnel didn't search the entire house.
Yeah.
But yes.
And when I say you, I'm referring to all of Henderson.
Yes.
I should have been more specific.
Okay. Yes.
You, as well as homicide detectives, are searching the entirety of the scene.
Correct.
Searching and photographing and documenting are different things.
Correct.
Okay. You guys are documenting this.
Yes.
Okay.
Joe Beineman gifted a membership as well. Thank you to Joe for doing that. Very, very happy to have Binky 1017 as a forced member. Guys, if you want to impose your will on someone, if you want to put them into effectively what is modern day slavery, just gift subscriptions. You can do it indiscriminately. The Fletcher boy buying 10 modern day slaves, forcing them into membership. Thank you, Fletcher boy, for that. Very much appreciated. 10 of you. Sorry, no Emancipation Proclamation in this nation.
The garage here is down to the bottom right, correct?
Yes.
And then just for the record, what is all this we're seeing on the right-hand side of the screen?
So it's a legend of the diagram, so you can kind of see
absolute
the
legend.
titles. So we have the report number, the address, what type of incident it is, who completed the diagram, and then we have, like I said, a legend of the evidence and items that we collected within the scene. And then a scale, it's a rough scale, and approximate scale, and then an arrow showing directionality.
Okay. Approximate scale, this is by foot?
Yes.
Okay. And then the evidence is listed as 1 ammonia bottle,
Can't be
2
by head.
bleach bottle, 3 dog door insert, 4 documents. Fair?
Correct.
Those numbers then
What's on the
correspond with these
documents?
little yellow
Show us the
numbers
documents.
inside the diagram?
Yes.
And that's
Pam Bondi.
attempting to depict those exactly where they're found.
Correct.
And then obviously we have the victim's body there on the bed. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Prior to you coming into the courtroom, did you have an opportunity to look through exhibits 16 to 234?
Yes, I did.
You thumbed through all of those?
I did.
To save some time, you did it in the hallway?
I did.
And did all those appear to be fair and accurate depictions of the crime scene photos, or some of them that were taken at this scene?
Yes.
And I would move for the admission of 16 to 195 and then 208 through 234.
No objection.
No objection to those. 16 to 195 and
Object
208
this.
to 234.
Yes.
Okay.
Move to publish.
Permission to post them on.
Thank you.
Loyash says dipped into
Showing you
Joe's debate
17. What
for a
is
hot
this?
second. Everything
So
you'd expect of a
that is
Destiny debate.
grade
Spurg
card
fest.
That is part of our standard procedure for my folks when they photograph any crime scene. They begin with this photo card, if you will, which again tells us the date, the report number, who's taking the photos, and from a photographic standpoint, the color scale on the bottom could be important as well.
Okay, and the photographed by, it says MB1678. What does MB stand for?
Megan Bone.
And 1678?
That's her P number.
P numbers and individualized
Megan
personnel
Bone?
number?
Correct.
Just another way of tracking evidence and such.
Was that Megan
She did
Bone?
it.
Sorry.
Oh,
Okay, and the photographed by, it says MB1678. What does MB stand for?
Megan Bone.
And 1678?
That's her P number.
P numbers
No!
and individualized
They
personnel
can't,
number?
Correct.
they
Just
can't
another way
bring
of
Megan
tracking
Bone on
evidence and
stand.
such.
It will not be as funny as it
Showing you
should.
states 18. Is this 2698 Paladura?
Yes.
Obviously located within a residential neighborhood?
Yes.
And describe kind of what we're seeing in this particular photograph.
This is the front of the house. This is how it appeared when we arrived. The garage door was partially up like that.
Weird.
There was crime scene tape that had been placed by patrol officers. There was a cone in the driveway that had been put there by patrol officers. And during our initial briefing, we'd been told that they believed that they had located an intentional area of blood. And so they had kind of identified that and marked that with a cone. And then you can see one of the individuals who lived in the house was sitting out front with one of the patrol officers.
Anything of note about the garage?
The garage door was found in that position, partially up.
Okay. 19, is this just the address marker and a little sign that says guard dog on duty?
Yes.
20, just for the record, that's the garage?
Yes.
And could you estimate, was that like 2 feet, 3 feet? Can you remember?
Not exactly, but I would guess about 2 feet.
States 21, what are we looking at here?
That's the cone that patrol had placed in the driveway.
Is that to the left of the cone a little spot of apparent blood?
Yes.
Was that presumptively tested?
Yes, it was.
And what was the result of that?
It was presumptive positive for blood.
Presumptive
As a
positive
result
for
of
blood.
the presumptive positive test, what do you and your team do with that?
So we use our...
Okay, so now we're going to find out if they DNA tested this spot of blood for the guy. Like, this is the first time I'm hearing that there was a spackle or a splattering of blood anywhere other than in the bedroom. We now have a potential blood spot, which, again, it would be amazing. But this isn't that amazing. And I want to point out something, again, that will be a problem for the defense. She took the head with her. She took the head with her. She wanted a little head for herself. She took it with her in a laundry basket. It's entirely possible that blood dripped out in transporting the head. Does not mean that a body was brought in, but of course the defense will want 2 pounds on this and say that this indicates that the body was transported to the crime scene rather than away.
Own placard, which there are additional photos of later on. We use our own placard to identify this area of blood. In this case, I believe it was marker A.
States 22.
And we rephotograph it again with our placard, and then we will collect a sample of it.
Okay. And so in 22, you can see there's a couple of, looks like spots or like a trail or whatever you want to call it. Is that right?
Correct.
I'm going to try not to be redundant with the photos. I'm going to draw your attention to 24. For the record, when you're looking at the home, is this the right side gate or entrance area which would lead to the garage?
Yes.
I'm sorry, to the backyard.
To the side yard, yes.
And was that obstructed?
Yes, it was completely closed off.
By what?
This wood fence.
Okay, just for the record. There are 3 large trash cans there.
Yes.
We'll get to that a little bit later. States 25, those trash cans, and then that wood fence, I guess, covers the entirety of that way into the backyard, correct?
Correct.
Showing you states 26, are we now looking at, if you're facing the home, the left side, which would be the potential other entrance to the backyard?
Yes.
27, just a little bit closer there, showing that.
The gate, yes.
And that gate appears to be a gate that does swing.
It does.
Correct. We'll get to the backyard in a little bit. Showing you states 28, is this the front door?
It is.
Any signs of forced entry to the front door?
None.
States 29, is that just documenting and showing that the door wasn't busted out?
Yes.
30, what are we looking at here?
So that is that front living room right when you walk into the front door.
Photographer is basically standing in the threshold of the front door?
Yes.
31, what perspective are we looking at now?
So again, in that same position, right on that threshold of the front door, looking up into the dining area.
You can see what appears to be a power tool here to the right. Can you see?
What is this giant? Like, is this a wood cut? Like it's like a couple rings from a tree? It's kind of wild little statue there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair to say that's not a saw.
Correct.
Some other kind of power tool. Okay. And then 32. Where are we oriented now?
We're in that same living room, just standing just to the side of the front door. And you can see the stairs going up to the second floor.
Okay. So these in the right-hand side are the stairs you referred to going up to kind of the living area, and then to the right, that goes up to the upper level.
Correct.
Definitely not the FBI says Nick's trial still hasn't settled yet, right? No, I don't have a trial. I pled guilty to that which I did, which was possessed an amount of illegal substances. The other charges were dismissed and dropped. I was sentenced on April 18th to 5 years of probation. So in the sense that like I most likely won't be going back to court for anything. Yes, it's over in the sense that I'm still under the jurisdiction of the state until my probation is over, which is up to 5 years technically, but most likely between 2.5 to 5 years of time. So I've done over half of that, or over 6 months. Sorry, over half a year of that time. But no, my stuff's all concluded from the state, so we're all good.
State's 34, have we now gone up one level?
Yes.
And do you remember what this is referred to in the
dining area?
Okay. So these are overall photographs?
Yes.
Before anything is kind of moved and
Correct.
searched?
Yes.
35, orient us please.
Same in that dining area, but you can kind of see the entry going into the kitchen.
36, is this just showing the stairs that lead up to the, I guess it's the third floor, but the upper level?
Yes.
37, what are we looking at here?
That is a closet just inside that kitchen area.
38.
That's an overall of the kitchen.
These are very blue photos, as pointed out by Archive
39, just
locals.
a different angle of the kitchen.
Yes.
Was the kitchen searched and documented?
Yes.
40, is that the kitchen?
Yes.
.43.
Wait, someone in that debate
Start
was wearing
opening
a
cabinets and
beanie?
you and your team are searching through everything?
Yes.
34, I'm sorry, 44. Oops. Zoom back out. Still in the kitchen, opened up the dishwasher.
Yes.
Fletcher Boy says, Nick, what is the minimum amount of time you'll serve probation? There's not a statute on it, but there's kind of like a rule of thumb that basically you have to serve quote unquote more than half. So 2 years in a day, 2.5 years in a day would be the optimal time. It's theoretically possible to get off of it before that. It's just not very likely.
Nothing of evidentiary value or note in there?
No.
And I won't go through all these, but I mean, you're opening these cabinets and going through pretty much everything, right?
Correct.
46, knife drawer.
Yes.
In here we have kind of your common steak knives and butter knives over here. Is that fair?
Yes.
48, another utensil drawer or a couple of utensil drawers.
Yes.
And there are several other drawers, cabinets that are photographed in the kitchen. Is that right?
Yes.
Anything that you found that had any apparent blood on it or anything of potential evidentiary value?
Nothing.
And you went into the 56, went into the fridge, documented everything, fair?
Yes.
Focus in on
The
61.
fridge game
What
is
is
pretty
this here?
organized. Not too
That
bad.
is
A lot of
one of two
bottles.
trash cans that were located in that kitchen area.
And that trash can was searched?
Yes.
Anything of potential evidentiary value?
No.
Random question for you. Did you find any engagement ring or any type of ring in the trash?
No.
In any trash can?
No.
States 63. What are we looking at here?
That is the adjacent dining area to the kitchen.
Okay. And so in the background, you can see an entrance to a room. Where is that going?
That is going down to the living room makeshift bedroom area that the victims come in.
And before we move out of this kitchen or dining area, 65, is that another trash can?
Yes.
No
Searched.
prison bussy for me.
No
you're
ring?
correct.
That one was completely empty.
And correct. Cindy says you forgot the important part. If you serve your probation successfully, all the charges go away. That is correct. I am not actually convicted of any criminal activity. I am on a stay of adjudication. If I complete my probation successfully, all of the charges will be dismissed. I will never have been found guilty of a crime. Well, of these crimes. I mean, there's traffic stuff, but of these crimes, and at that point, you know, like my rights will never be impacted or anything like that. I'm temporarily disallowed from possessing certain things, you know, guns, mood-altering substances, etc. But that will eventually change, hopefully. Like assuming I don't screw up.
$67, what are we looking at here?
So that is standing right on, in the dining area, right before those steps leading down into, again, the living area, makeshift bedroom area.
And just for the record, there is no door that enters into this room,
No.
correct? There is what appears to be a flag and or a bed sheet that kind of doubles, I guess, as a door block.
Yes.
68.
So this isn't a basic overall, we're starting to get into the overalls of that living area, again, bedroom, makeshift bedroom area.
69, same room, just different perspective.
Yes.
Lamau 69.
70, same room, different perspective.
Yes.
Now we're finally seeing the bed for the first time.
Making law simple. Is this case any good? You tell me, man. I mean, it's got all the recipe for good stuff. We'll have to see what comes out of it. Porn star decapitates boyfriend who is the father of her husband, whom she has 2 children with the boyfriend. Defense is trying to blame the husband for the murder of his father, who is her boyfriend. Her husband was her stepson, which means her husband was the stepbrother to her daughters, which means who then transitioned to being the stepdad of her daughters. This is all very, very redneck, but it's all in Nevada.
Yes,
That's kind of tucked around the corner there, is that correct?
that's correct.
71. So what does this hallway lead to here?
So that hallway leads to a bathroom and the laundry room that connects to the garage.
Okay. 72, different perspective, same room.
Yes.
73, different perspective, same room.
Yes.
74, same room,
Yes.
different perspective.
MLS, she also took the guy's head and put it in a laundry basket and left the
78, what are
scene,
we
which
looking
is
at
funny.
here?
Very
So
funny.
along the south wall of that room was like fireplace area, and it had this shelving area on top of it.
A fireplace area, but it appears it's blocked off.
Yes.
Right, it's kind of doubling as shelves.
Correct, yes.
79 is this?
That's a table in that room.
Before we approach the bed, so are there any general observations you made of this part of the scene before we get into the bed and the body?
It appeared to be cluttered clothing and other various items. There was nothing that particularly stood out visually. Again, just that it was dirty and cluttered and kind of unkempt.
And obviously no weapons or anything like that you found at this point.
Yeah.
So states 80, we're kind of shifting over to the bed here. What are we looking at?
A shoe, some socks, some random clothing items.
One of those random clothing items is some black boxers.
Yes.
Okay. And you got shoes, some socks, and some wires, correct?
Correct.
Showing you now states 81. Just please, for the record, orient us.
So
Did she drug him or
we
something?
are
Unclear.
we're looking north at the bed. So that's the north wall. And
She's always looking
that's the bed
sideways.
that's tucked
I'm
away
bothered.
in that whole side of the room.
I'm bothered by this.
82, what portion of the bed are we looking at here?
That's the headboard of that bed.
And you're documenting kind of the gap in between the headboard and the bed?
Yes.
And 83, getting a little closer to the bed here.
Yes.
84, now we're at the foot of the bed.
Correct.
Did you find anything of potential evidentiary value, flip that, down near the foot of the bed?
How did this girl get the better of this dude if she didn't drug him? Okay, they don't, I believe, it's kind of unclear to me, and we'll find out, but I believe they don't actually have the head. But the state's theory is that she was giving him a back massage, also known as pegging, and she clocked him in the back of the head with a candlestick or similar heavy object, like the game Clue, right? And that actually led to his demise. And so then the decapitation was done post-mortem. We do know that the decapitation was done after he was dead based on the forensics. That's from the opening argument. They have not brought the forensic analyst to talk about it yet. But I believe they don't have the head, so they don't know if she clubbed him or if she shot him in the back of the head. You know, there's some different sort of theories. But the main one is that she bludgeoned him.
That's where we started seeing what appeared to be blood.
Okay.
Was the foot of the bed.
And I do have photos later that show your...
Why? What is the reason? Why would she do that? Again, the state's theory on motive is effectively, so we'll do a quick recap. She is married to his son, though she has 2 daughters with him, no children with the son. All right. We won't get into all the claims that the marriage is a marriage of convenience, and then the state being like, no, totally. Or the defense being like, no, this is a super sexy and steamy marriage. We're going to ignore all of that. Although that did happen, it was funny, and there's more of that to come, I'm sure. But the theory is that she's married to her husband, who is his son, and that she was dating the dad, who's about to, move into their house to help with the children. And allegedly the dad did not know of the relationship, and this would make him discover the marriage. And this would make him discover the marriage, and then therefore there would be problems. That's the alleged motive. Who knows? I'm guessing meth and pegging, like business. That's what I'm going with.
Markers, but do you remember where that particular blood was?
Right on the foot portion of that bed, that wood frame of the bed, we started seeing like our first drops of blood.
Okay. We're getting a weird glare here, so let me see if we can...
Me
and
too.
some on the carpeting.
She's glaring at him. Weird glare.
$84A. And for the record, that was within the stack 84A, but I don't think I mentioned that.
I don't think you mentioned it.
We'd move for the admission of the A as well.
Okay.
No objection.
Okay.
Thanks.
And how do you
so
object?
now
Like,
we
these are her investigative notes. You're not going to
Oh,
get
we're
to
still
object
on
to
the
them.
other side of the bed. I apologize. I'll show you. 86. So what are we looking at here?
So that's on the opposite side of the bed. Now we're standing on the opposite side of the bed, where you can see the top portion of the victim, and you have that small kind of area just between the bed and dresser, some other furniture items along that wall.
For the record, the victim's his shoulders are kind of adjacent or parallel to the left side of the bed in this photo.
Yes.
Motive is not necessary
The left
to
edge, I should say.
prove a murder.
Yes.
That's a TV thing. What's your motive? What's your motive? You don't need it.
Did you make any observations about the blood patterns?
Motive is more of an artifact of older, I think a blending of older investigative work and, of course, the idea of criminal intent. I think that is where this idea of like needing a motive is stuck. But in reality, all you have to do is prove that the murder happened, and that the person intended the murder to happen, depending on the level of crime that you've got, right? Like that's what you need to prove. You can prove that all sorts of ways. You don't have to prove why they wanted to do it. And the reality is some people kill people and they don't have a reason why. The reason is just because like, whatever, I wanted to. Leave me alone. You know, like but in the olden days, before forensics became so prevalent and so refined, even though they're not perfect, they're good. And before we could lay out a factual basis, you had to convince a jury somehow that this person is the person who did it. So motive was an effective circumstantial way that you could show a murder occurred or show that somebody did something to someone else. You say, look, they knew they would get the money. That makes it even more likely. Again, pushing past that those reasonable doubt things. No, there is a reason that they might have killed this person. Now, motive can be helpful in proving that anyway. I'm not saying that you should never look for motive and should never assert it, but it's just not necessary to get a conviction anymore. Just like having a murder weapon isn't necessary to get a conviction. Having a body isn't even necessary to get a conviction. Those things help. They help fill in the gaps, but the standard is always beyond any reasonable doubt, not like conclusive proof with all things knocked out. So if you can just prove beyond a reasonable doubt that someone did something, you got them. And that proof comes in many different ways.
Here on top of the bed.
There were some what appeared to be deep saturation bloodstains on that side of the bed.
There is a glare, and I've been trying.
MLS very astutely points out insurance is always the motive in the eyes of the police. And this is a different thing, right? Police look for motive for their investigations, for their investigative purpose. It helps them narrow down the list of potential suspects when, you've got a body, and the people that are potential suspects, of course, are people in the immediate vicinity in their immediate lives who may have seen them last, etc. But finding out, there's all sorts of other reasons or people on the list of who might have killed someone, depending on the circumstances. And that may not be readily apparent until those motives show up. So when you find out about a motive, it becomes part of the investigation and the investigative purpose. And then it may come up at trial, of course, like what led you to this? How'd you come up with this? But again, it's not necessary to prove the murder itself. And that TV has kind of bastardized all of this in the interest of getting us to our conclusions in 30 minutes to 60 seconds. Even this murder, which seems pretty straightforward, took 6 days, I think, of trial. But that's a fast trial compared to some of the other ones we've watched. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing it too. This is not, a 6-week long trial. This is a couple days. And this is much more typical of murder trials. They're not what we see with like Kyle Rittenhouse, where it's weeks and weeks and weeks of time. They're much shorter. Usually the list of people involved and the circumstances involved kind of point to a conclusion. Sometimes that conclusion is wrong, but it's usually fairly obvious, right? Last person to be with the person, like if there's any witnesses around, they knock it out pretty quick. Most murders aren't witnessed by like thousands of people that need to all be examined and cross-examined. Like you don't need to do that in most cases. Most of them have a very limited witness list. So, okay, sorry for the digression, but I digress.
Trying to fix it, but tell me if you
Nobody
need me to bring
kills
this photo
anyone
up to
with
you.
their
Do you remember
hands
this
anymore.
particular stain?
Valley of Men, we always fight with our hands.
Saturation closest to the foot of the bed being more red in color.
I don't remember that specifically.
Okay. Can I approach?
Yes. I can see it in this photo, yes.
Counsel, which exhibit's that?
Sorry, 86.
Thank you.
And then down on the ground, did you make any observations?
Yes, there was another area of what appeared to be just saturated blood right on the ground right below.
91, that shows it a little bit better. I'm going to try to zoom in. The larger stain on the ground, is that an area you would refer to as a saturation point?
Yes.
And then there's another lighter spot above that, correct?
Correct.
Just tell me kind of what your observations were related to this blood and the positioning of the victim.
So that was right below where the
Even
victim's
says
head would have been.
Nick Offerman is questioning. Does sound
Clearly
like him.
that's where we saw the bloodletting injury, if you will, occurring. So that's where carpet is a little difficult, but those were saturation stains. So it was just blood that had pooled and saturated in those areas right below where he was at.
Showing you 92. Is this that same stain, just a different perspective?
Yes.
Do you see areas of kind of displacement or like odd patterning here?
It's difficult to determine that, but to determine like clean borders, but
Sure.
yes.
Sure. Clean borders, like what are you referring to? What does that mean?
Like if something had been placed there, carpet again is difficult because you don't get those clean borders that you would see like on a hard surface or a non-porous surface. Carpet is a little more difficult, but yes, like you can, I guess, see the outline of where the stain ends.
On the right side of the stain, it looks like there's almost a straight line. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. I would presume your photographer got a little closer and took several photographs of this area as well as the victim's shoulders.
Yes.
Showing you now 93. This is a little bit better photo of the patterning here on the bed. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you make any deductions or observations related to the amount of blood, the positioning of the blood, etc.?
We didn't at that time, no. We just clearly observed and documented that this just was a
but
very
the white
large
one, I was running out.
stain.
It's like starting to taste bad, so I think it's finally gone. It was almost done. Then I have the bigger black one.
98. This is a different perspective.
Yeah, this is
Oops.
trash.
What are we looking at here?
So that is the upper portion of the victim, again, void of his head.
And just for the record,
She's always
is there a
looking sideways.
substantial amount
Creeps me
of
out.
blood on top of a blue and white comforter?
Yes.
And then what is this item right here?
That's a large pillow that was underneath the top portion of the victim's torso.
States 101, different perspective of the area where his head should be, correct?
Correct.
Did you make any observations about the color, or I guess texture, or anything about the blood?
Yes, the blood appeared black, just dark, extremely dark, atypical of what we usually see.
And I should have asked you earlier, did you smell anything while you were in the scene?
It was overwhelmingly, the chemical smell was overwhelming, burning our eyes.
Wow. Okay, so the
burning our
chemical thing
nostrils.
wasn't in the
It was,
opening arguments at all, really.
overpowering
Or was
the
I didn't
chemical
hear
smell
it.
that was coming specifically from this area. That smell was present throughout this room, but the closer you got to this area of the victim, when you walked around the foot of the bed and came towards this area, it was overpowering.
I'll show you one more. States 100. For the record, kind of the same perspective, but it shows a little bit of the pooling over here as well.
Do you do battery disposal? Most of mine get down low, and I just like they're just around.
Did you
so
make any general deductions related
probably need to take them
to
all and recycle them.
where this person was decapitated?
We felt like it was done right there.
Why do you say that?
I mean, there wasn't any signs of a struggle. There wasn't any signs that he had been moved. There wasn't, if anything, we hypothesized whether.
Okay, so this is interesting here, and I want to pause it and talk about this for a second. This potentially calls for an objection. This is speculation. She's not the person, like she is the supervisor of the crime scene investigators. But what she's doing right now is offering a summary of other people's analysis without the ability to cross-examine the people who did the analysis. She's saying, oh, we didn't think this, we didn't think that. I think that may be a hearsay and a calls for speculation objection at this point. You know, like now she's just testifying as to all the reasons why the body wasn't moved, even though that's not really her job. Her job is to manage the people who make these decisions, and those people will testify. So I think, to me, I think you should object here. You may get overturned on it. You know, the judge may just be like, yeah, no, she's qualified to do it. But they didn't, you know, they didn't go through any CV qualifying her to talk about any of this stuff. Now she is giving her present sense impression, I guess, at the time of the investigation, but that doesn't really matter because we have her investigation notes and we have the actual investigators, you know, and the photographer who will be testifying to this stuff later. I just think at this point, like if I'm the defense attorney, I maybe say, hey, like this is the improper person to do this.
He'd been rolled from back to front, but that was the extent of the movement that we felt that he had gone through. That was
MLS probably disagrees because he does this more than I do. But
the spot that is pretty apparent down a little closer to the foot of the bed.
Correct. Either rolled or again something that had blood on it had been placed there that caused that saturation stain. But as far as him himself, we didn't feel like there was any movement or very little movement.
Now I have a personal question for you. How tall are you?
5'2".
You are a petite woman, we can all see. Did it appear to you that...
Oh man, he's flattering the hell out of her. Look at that smile. She loved that. 5'2", you are a petite woman. Yeah. Good job, Attorney Thumb.
His body was the size where someone like you could roll him over.
Sure, yeah.
The documentation doesn't end here, correct?
Correct.
Eventually the sheets and stuff are kind of peeled off onion-like layers, right?
Yes.
Well, you looked closely at the victim's neck where his head was decapitated.
Yes.
Did you make any observations about the injury itself?
No, I mean, not about the injury itself, no.
So I want to show you 104, and you mentioned the chemical smell earlier. Did you observe any injuries to the body that may have been consistent with some kind of burning of chemicals?
Yes, he was covered in what appeared to be almost like blisters, or I guess burn or chemical burns throughout his body.
States 106. Is that an angle of the backside of his left shoulder?
Yes.
And left inner arm?
Yes.
And are these some of the blistery kind of burn-like marks you're seeing?
Yes.
And many of those are documented closer. I won't go through all of them, but they're documented closer, correct?
Yes.
Moving away from the body now to 109, what are we looking at?
Oh my gosh.
That is looking down that short hallway leading towards, again, there's a hallway bathroom off to the right, and then you can see the laundry room and that door that leads out to the garage.
110. What are we looking at there?
So those were two, I guess, bottles of cleaning supplies that were found on the ground. Right, that door is the door to the bathroom. So one of them was a bottle of ammonia, and the other one is a bottle of soft scrub.
Soap and ammonia. The ammonia could account for the
States
smoking.
111, where are we looking here?
That's looking into the bathroom, that hallway bathroom.
And that's all documented as well?
Yes.
States 112, what are we looking at here?
That's a picture of the vanity in that bathroom.
Including the sink and the toilet?
Yes.
And then we're trying to get a photo of the shower printed, but that's all looked at and documented.
Yes.
Did you observe any signs of blood in the bathroom area?
No, we did not.
Had you would have swabbed it and taken it, I presume?
Yes.
Going back for a moment, to states 100, would you agree with me that the blood in this area is generally focused where his head should be, and then at the bottom of the, or I guess the foot of the bed and the ground?
Yes.
Directly underneath.
Very offensive to state where his head should be.
Have you responded to crime scenes involving gunshot wounds?
Yes.
Any estimate? Thousands? Hundreds?
Hundreds.
Okay. Have you responded to scenes involving stab wounds?
Yes.
And is it common to observe blood kind of less focused in one area in those types of scenes?
Can you explain that?
Well, would you expect with a gunshot wound cast off or spray or spatter?
Yes, absolutely.
What are those terms that I just used, just so the jury understands?
So
inflatable
anytime
with
you
love and
have,
cherish.
Like a gunshot wound injury, you will see various types of blood spatter, if you will. We have forward spatter, you'll have back spatter. For injuries involving like sharp objects like stabbings, a lot of times you'll see cast-off patterns, things like that. So there's all different various types of blood spatter depending on what type of injuries or.
Again, a good observation of professional witnesses. Forensic examiners testify in all sorts of trials. Once they've been doing it a little bit, they've testified in all sorts of ways to all sorts of people with all sorts of attorneys from various levels of hostility to overall flattery. Notice that she is talking to the jury. She's teaching the jury what to do, even though the guy asking the question is in front of her. And that's also why she's turned and side-eyeing Attorney Thumb. Like her entire demeanor is turned towards the jury, which is very common for state experts who do this all the time. They get in the habit of instructing the jury as if their expertise merits their instruction, and as the jury is there to learn from them the truth. And it's a great sort of subliminal technique. It's very effective because the person asking the question is off to the side, but she's looking at you. She's looking at you.
Implements cause those injuries.
Sure. And if an injury occurs while a person is alive, it's probably more likely that their arteries are pumping and their veins are pumping.
Absolutely.
If an injury occurs that's not, if a decapitation occurs post-mortem, there's not going to be spurting, correct?
Correct.
And I should ask the general question, did you observe any spatter, cast off, or anything on the walls?
No.
On the headboard?
Spatter, huh?
On the ceiling?
No.
On the anything else that's kind of cluttered around?
No.
Anything of evidentiary value found in the washer and dryer?
No.
Other than the two chemical bottles on the ground, anything of evidentiary value found in that hallway or bathroom area?
No.
$119. Is this the garage door?
Yes.
And I guess, what perspective are we looking at this at?
So you're inside the garage.
Okay. So we pass through that hallway, past the bathroom, into
Right.
120, what are we looking at here?
That's an overall inside the garage.
$121, different perspective, but kind of capturing the other angle.
Yes.
$122, also in the garage.
Yes.
Did you, and I should say all of you, HPD,
Yes.
did you turn this garage upside down as well?
Yes.
Is there any weapons found in this garage?
No.
No.
Anything with apparent blood on it?
No.
And
What about actual
obvious
blood?
question, did you find the victim's head anywhere in the
kidding.
garage?
No.
Going back to the bedroom for a minute, 123, is this the slider leading to the backyard?
Yes.
And 125, when you move the blinds back, what is this here?
So that's a doggy door.
Well, Radio, I think
insert
it's just because how
that
she has her
goes
hair
inside of the
swooped.
sliding glass door, and it has
It might
that
have a
glass
tendency
panel,
to
and then at the very bottom
slide
is
over
a
in front of her
doggy door.
eyes.
And for the record, that doggy door is closed.
Yes,
And then this particular, the latch on the slider, was that open or closed?
open.
Open. Ultimately, did you and other crime scene analysts impound this dog door
We did.
cover? And those 2 chemical bottles?
We did.
Showing you 128, what are we looking at here?
That's an overall of the backyard.
129, what are we looking at here?
That's the side gate that we previously looked at on the side of the house.
I'm gonna try to zoom in the best I can. This is not the gate where we saw the big wooden fence.
No.
So if you're
JKD
looking at
Bart.
the house from the front, this would be
Something
the
else,
left
brother.
gate.
Yes.
And in the back, obviously, the right gate. Could anyone access that gate from the front? Like, what are we looking at here?
That is, it was a bunch, it was like wood boards and everything, like on the ground, in front of the gate.
Okay, and that gate, for the record, swings into the backyard,
Yes,
and that would be obstructing.
yes.
Rifling
And-
through his notes. What have I missed? What have I missed? Cindy, I agree. No commitment
Come
from this
back to the
chick.
backyard in a minute. I'm gonna just try to.
Halderson and
efficient.
business, they
130,
cut
you
the
go
whole
upstairs.
body up, not just take the head away.
You and other crime scene personnel document all of that.
Yes.
131. This is the upstairs area.
Yep. Right at the top of the stairs.
And just as an example, 132, you're opening cabinets, you're going through everything, correct?
Correct.
Without showing a bunch of photos, was there anything of potential evidentiary value found upstairs?
No.
Any weapons?
No.
Any head?
No.
Any blood?
No.
I'm such a child. I laugh at it every time.
Showing you 138. Is this one of the upstairs living area bedrooms?
Yes.
And can you see some, what appears to be some little girls' clothes and little stuffies up here?
Yes.
Well, that's what my kids call them, stuffies.
Yes.
When did they become stuffies?
One.
That's the thing that bothers
40.
me forever.
Some more kind of child's clothing or small clothing there.
Yes.
This is all upstairs.
Yes.
I'm very angry that they call stuffed animals stuffies now.
145.
Who
This
says
is a
stuffies?
bathroom door.
Every
appears to be
child.
painted pink.
Yes.
Did you find it?
Lost bullets, that's a lie. It's a filthy Canadian lie, and you know it.
So very briefly, 153. We now have evidence placards next to the 2 chemical
All these
bottles.
pictures are so
And those should
blue, I
correspond
think
with our crime scene diagram.
Yes.
Evidence placard 1.
all the evidence
is,
must be
states
flying at the
155,
camera
the
person when
ammonia
they take the
bottle.
pictures.
Yes.
Was
Why
that
are they
processed
so
in
blue
any way at the
shifted?
scene?
Not at the scene, no.
For the record, 156, that's just showing the other side of the bottle to see how much is left in there.
Correct.
I'd say maybe 1/3 full.
Correct.
And did I say, is that the ammonia bottle?
Yes.
Okay, and then 154, The other bottle appears to be soft scrub bleach.
Yes.
When you say not processed at the scene, what do you mean?
So we collected it with the intent of bringing it back to the station to have our forensic evidence lab technician process it in the lab.
Going back to the backyard for a moment,
Holy
the one
cats,
gate is obstructed that
I
swings
wonder if the
inward
defense
to the
is even going to
backyard.
cross-examine her.
The
We're
other
almost done.
side, I'd shown you a
8
photo
minutes.
earlier from the front, that gate, that wooden fence,
Yes.
does that cause that side to be completely obstructed as well?
Yes.
Okay, so both sides are obstructed.
Yes.
States 160, where are we now?
So that's the foot of the bed. Where the victim was.
161, now we have an evidence placard showing what?
That's showing the area of apparent blood that was located on the foot of the bed.
Very small, almost like droplets.
Yes.
Did those appear to be downward droplets?
Yes.
What's the difference between a downward and kind of a spray?
It's like a passive blood drop. So it doesn't show a lot of directionality. It's more just like a passive, like something that's dripping blood just passively. It doesn't show a lot of movement.
In addition, in the bedroom, did you and other crime scene analysts locate a bunch of writings, pink writing?
Yes.
Were those accessed and then ultimately photographed page by page?
Yes.
Did those shed light on your investigation?
Yes.
And generally, without saying what the letters say, why were they relevant to your investigation?
It appeared to be handwritten notes regarding their child custody disagreement.
Okay. And I'd move for the admission of 196 to 207.
We'd object this to hearsay if you want us to approach with
Please.
Oh, stop. Okay, so the state is careful there to avoid spoken hearsay issues by saying, don't say what the letters said. You know, how did they make you feel? Blah, 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 blah. Then they're going to admit the letters. The defense is objecting to the letters that they found being admitted. Look at her sitting there smiling. That's funny. They're objecting to it. And, you know, they're going to claim that this is just a workaround for the hearsay issue. And the issue is what's in the letters is used to prove the matter asserted in the letters themselves. But they're going to say, no, no, no. This is just about how her present sense impression and how she felt about the letters and what the letters meant to her, which I think is really, like, it's commonly used, but I think it's a bastardization of what the hearsay exception for present sense impression is. I don't think the investigator's present sense impression matters. Frankly, the murder has already occurred. It's done. We don't need the investigator's impression or what the letters made them feel or think or how they moved them. That is just an obvious workaround to the issue. The question is, you know, what happened at the relevant time of the murder? Now you could see like where a present sense impression post-mortem might matter if someone is attempting to obscure a murder, cover it up, or like dispose of bodies, something like that. But this is this is a little bit much. So we'll see. Magnanimo says Nick has other dweebs to beat up on for now. Who do I have other dweebs to beat up now?
And we're going to make the 2-day card, and I don't know if that's going to be done in the next 20 minutes. So we're going to stop for the day, and then we'll do this.
Okay, so they're not doing cross-examination tonight. Ah! The white noise thing is very racist. I hate it. It is not good. So, just so we're clear, this is a guy come on, who is asking the questions over here on the left. That is the attorney who's been questioning the investigator the whole time. So, in case you missed it, because they only showed the blurry back of his head.
We're here on a recess. During this recess, you must not discuss or communicate with anyone, including fellow jurors, in any way regarding the case or its matters. You must avoid phone, email, text, internet, or other means of communication or social media. You must not reach out to this any news or media account for commentary on the case. You must not do any research, such as consulting dictionaries, using reference material. You must not make any investigation, test the theory of the case, recreate any aspect of the case, or in any other way investigate or learn about the case on your own. And you must not form or express any opinion regarding this case unless transmitted to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be in recess until tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. All rise for the jury.
This video is about over. We got a couple minutes left. The defendant looks like a rock star from the 80s. Kind of. I can see it.
Please be seated. Ma'am, you are going to be excused for the remainder of the day. I just remind you that you are still under oath. You are not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone. You can report back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, we're going to be adjourned for the rest of the day, so everybody can be excused. All right, everything remaining from this point?
The poll is complete. 69% of you said that on YouTube said you would date the lady investigator who looks at murdered people. 31% of you said no. 31% of you said no. Now, I will note that the demographic split of my audience, according to YouTube's most recent numbers, is 70% male and 30% female. So this maybe tracks, I think, with that. But hey, who am I to know things?
Will be done off the records. We're going to stop all recording.
Date her and you significantly raise your mortality risk? Yes, most of the men she sees are dead. I think that's true. You're likely going to die. That's it, guys. This is nothing else happens for the rest of the video. It is so Jover. It's over. It's over. Okay, that took way too, not today. It took me way too long to get back to that. Hopefully we'll be doing some more of these trial videos as we go. And with a little more frequency. I had, some stuff came up in the holidays. So I wasn't able to get back to it right away. But that being said, drop a comment on the video. Tell me if you like this type of stuff or not. I tend to prefer to listen to trials live. I'm hoping this one picks up with more meme material as we go. I think it's got the potential to have some good entertaining moments, and it is it's a really insane sort of crime. But hey, I had some time on a Sunday, wanted to make sure and finish up that first day with you guys. I'll create a playlist for it, and then we'll see where we go. As for tonight, I do plan on doing probably a member show tonight. We will not be doing the beef Wellington cook tonight because that needs more time to marinate. Maybe next weekend, hopefully. We'll talk about that. I need some things to fall into place, but that's 3 more hours of video. It's going to take me a while to get through. So I need the time to do it and some prep and to let people know. Tonight, however, we do have something that I think you will enjoy that's in the same vein anyway. Don't worry. We may take a preliminary look at the Good Logic versus Destiny debate that allegedly happened on Joe's channel many people said it's some kind of mess with a bunch of screaming, which makes it perfect. We'll have to see what we do. But yes, you can be a member on YouTube or a member on Locals for the members only streams tonight, and it should be fun. Should be a fun time. We'll have some good laughs. How's that? We'll have some good laughs. All right, guys. For now, I got to get going. I got to head to the gym, or at least I'm going to say that. I'm going to say I'm going to the gym. Then you guys will not know. But got to go to the gym. You know, get my raging overweight issues in check. And then we'll be back for tonight. So I hope you guys have a good night. Talk to you very soon. Watch for the announcements on Locals and Twitter. Is the best places. The platforms don't always stream out or like put out the notifications. So watch for announcements when I set up the stream and stuff. And I'll see you there. All right, guys. Have a great evening. Random says, imagine Kurt ducking us and delisting the video. He might do that. That's certainly possible. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. Have a good night. Peace. Peace. And I'm not even ready to end the stream. Very, very unbreaded.